What was it like seeing that little skinny kid and looking at him now?
Day and night difference.
Bro, I was a
You
stick.
had no meat on you.
I was a stick. I
know you guys had Ben a little while back. Talk to him. Put some meat on. Put some muscle on.
Back then,
That's what happened.
I took him
That's
back.
how I got it.
So yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Like I remember, like you were a twig, a little stick,
I was.
right? Like I would just touch you and you'd go flying. Brotherhood, that vibe we had, I'm not gonna get it back. We have friends, we have family, fathers and mothers, but a brother and a brother, it's a breakable bond.
Yeah,
Siblings like you two, it's a bond. It is something that is so pure.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the BTR podcast. Once again, you can see by the setup, we're joined by a very special guest. So without further ado, let me introduce him. He's a soccer player and soccer coach from Delta, BC, who was the captain and center back for the Whitecaps PDL team. He also represented Toronto FC at one point in his career and played for the Middlesbrough Academy team. And he also represented the Canadian U17 and U20 national team, where he scored the game-winning goal against Guadeloupe in the CONCACAF Championship, not finals, but CONCACAF Championships. And he's also probably the biggest Punjabi media fan I know. Good friend of ours, we finally reunited with him, Derrick Bassi.
Thanks for having me, guys.
What's up, man?
It's been a while,
Been
and
too long, man.
it's
Been
good to
too
be
long.
back. Yeah,
How's it going?
it's good.
Off
Busy.
season for you?
It's off season, starting up soon now, and it's good to be back. Been away for a little bit,
Yeah.
obviously with work, but now it's back to the grind, back to the
Yeah.
field, back to playing, coaching. So I'm pumped.
Those of you who don't know, Derrick, I used to see Derrick almost like every day of my life, more than like him from time to time.
And he was my coach.
Yeah, no, but this is like even like you,
Even
the days
before.
you weren't coaching, I'm still on the field,
Yeah, right.
and then Derrick's on the field, even more than mom and dad at times. But
It's been too long, but the beard's still the same.
Well, I needed someone to pick up my cones for me, get the pennies, wash the pennies,
driver,
do all the slave work. So
Driver.
yeah,
Driver,
exactly.
yeah,
Driver,
driver.
pick up the players, drop them off.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be back.
But yeah, before we get into it, I mentioned Canada soccer, so let's talk about that experience very quickly. How was that experience playing U17, U20, representing your country, and scoring a game-winning goal, let alone just a normal goal as well?
So I'll kind of correct you here. It first started when I was 12 years old.
Okay.
The first time I represented Canada was when I was 12. This is for the Danone Nations Cup. So they select 4 players from BC, and I was lucky enough to be selected. We have one training camp in Montreal, and then we head over to Paris to play. And so that was the first time we played against Morocco, Germany, and Holland. It wasn't a big competition. It was sponsored by Danone, the yoga company.
Yeah.
But it was good exposure. It was a way to get out there and travel. Of course, my parents came along and met Zinedine Zidane, so that was pretty
Okay,
cool.
Yeah.
Came in the field, shook his hand, and I didn't wash my hand for about a week.
Did he headbutt you?
No.
headbutt?
I wouldn't
Okay.
allow that. That was the first time, and then when I was in England, I started getting called up for the national team. That experience is something I wish all our kids can have, our community especially, and anyone, especially from British Columbia. We have so much talent here. Okay, so myself being a part of that talent group, born in '92, because everyone knows the '90s, '91s, '92 borns. That pool of players was dominant. We were untouchable. Okay, so being called up, it was nice. We're traveling, and you're playing with the best players in your country.
And you're a starter. You weren't even like.
And you're starting,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you're meeting new coaches, you're meeting new players, right? From Quebec, Calgary, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. And so the experience there is mind-boggling. As you get older, it just gets better. Just players are never the same, right? It's
Yeah.
always changing. At one camp, you got 22 players, 23 players. The next camp, you could maybe know only 2-3 players that are returning.
Yeah.
So the consistency that you have to show by your performances, right, away in your club team to be called up was very, very important. So I enjoyed it. It made me very mature in a sense, made me very independent, gave me a sense of pride, right? You guys know I am a true Desi banda,
Yeah, exactly.
right? I love
Biggest
I love going to
Punjabi guy.
India. I love Punjabi music.
Punjabi
And so
movies.
being Punjabi, Sikh, playing for Canada,
Yeah,
That gave me that extra little kick in behind, right, to get it going.
We're definitely gonna get into more in the Punjabi talent, like you mentioned before. Before we continue on with our quick fire, that Bhangra celebration. Before you continue on, I think I have the goal. The goal is on YouTube, so you guys might at the intro clip.
The
you guys
intro
might
clip,
see
right?
it. The intro clip, you'll probably see the goal and somewhat of the celebration. I don't think it was not clear quality, but yeah, on the spot, like you said, Punjabi. That was what came into your head first thing?
I'll never forget. I went out for a corner kick. Russell Tybert, good friend of mine. And then he wasn't a good friend of mine. And then he was a good friend of mine. He crossed the ball. And I couldn't see it at first. I ducked down. And I saw it last second. And I just went for that header. And I got very lucky, I could say. Didn't hit any defender. And I scored. So when I ran over, I was running to one of my coaches. I had no idea what I was going to do.
Yeah.
And as a defender, I'm thinking, I might never score a goal again.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true.
Never again.
You're probably like, at that moment, I'm probably not gonna score.
Did I actually really just score right here? So the ball went in the net. I just turned, and the first thing that I just thought about was, I want to dance. Right? And so there I was. My hands were up, and it was just, that moment was ecstatic. Like it was unbelievable. And when I think about it now, I have goosebumps just right now.
Yeah.
Thinking about that moment of what it meant to myself, what it meant to my mom, my dad, grandma, grandpa, brother, sister, all sitting there around the TV watching my game.
Yeah.
All right. And that memory just playing in my head it's something you'll
Yeah,
never
like
forget.
we're going through something similar with Jeevan. Like you coached Jeevan as well. We've had him on the podcast. You know, people could check that out as well. He scored like the game-winning assist essentially to qualify for the World Cup that's coming this year. So definitely, you know, obviously, I didn't know you back then, but like with Jeevan, he's literally your first cousin. So like, I remember sitting at work and I'm like, kind of like teary-eyed in a way. Like you could feel like the emotion. It's like my cousin did that. Like that's insane. Like this guy was screaming.
Yeah, screaming in the house. Like
when you see someone that close to you achieve something so big as Jeevan is doing and is currently already done, right? He's becoming a pillar for kids that are watching him right now.
Yeah.
And he has the world in his hands.
Yeah.
And he can just take it how he wants to.
Yeah.
Right? And so that moment, again, it's a moment that he'll never forget. We'll never forget.
Yeah.
His parents will never forget.
Exactly.
Right? His younger brother won't ever forget.
Yeah.
Right? It's something for his younger brother to achieve towards. Right? Something to look forward to. Can I do this one day?
He also has a younger sister, so she will never forget.
She will never forget.
Let's not forget her.
Let's not
I'll be in
forget
trouble.
But no, last thing before we Joban will ask you some like quick rapid fire questions. You mentioned Russell Tybert. I remember watching those highlights. Lucas Cavallini scored the opening goal because you guys were down 1-0 in that game. Who are some players on the top of your head that you played with in Canada? Those two obviously include. I think Daniel Henry was one, and against even like you mentioned you met Zidane, but like have you played against the European or the South American talent as well?
So for Canada, Jonathan Osorio was one of the main guys. He was very, very talented. Obviously Russell Tybert. Daniel Henry, I played with him many, many games. I really enjoyed that, right? And even here, right, we have talent here. I always say I loved playing with Sahil Sandhu, Gagan Dosanjh, Bobby Chutti. These players are pure talent. It comes natural to them.
Yeah.
It's just natural. They can train or they cannot train for a month. They'll come on the field and they'll still be the best player in training.
Yeah.
And so European side of things in Europe, Wayne Rooney was the tough one.
You played against him?
Against him.
Against Rooney,
that was very tough when I was in England. I don't want to talk about that because I don't know. I don't think my players will ever want me to coach him again.
Yeah.
It was kind of tough that game. Man City, that's when Foden first came. Foden was in the youth team.
Yeah.
That was fun. Adam Johnson, Stuart Downing. So played with those players. The talent with those players they're built different. In Canada we play soccer, right? They're playing football and they're breathing it, they're sleeping it, they're eating it. Everything they do is all about football.
Yeah, right.
They read the paper in the morning. I'm not gonna read the front page of the newspaper. They're gonna flip the back and see, okay, what team did today what? Where did this player go? How many millions of dollars did this player get transferred for? So
It's like homework. It's basically their homework.
It's a complete different breed when we compare and look over there to those players.
Yeah.
We'll get into more of these topics in a second. So before we get into your journey in the beginning, Jovan will have some some fun rapid fire questions to get to know Derrick a little bit more.
All right, first up, favorite sport or sports outside of soccer?
I love ping pong and volleyball.
Volleyball, yeah.
did not
Volleyball's
expect
good.
Ping pong and volleyball.
Volleyball's
I
good.
challenge both of you anytime, anywhere for
Oh,
ping pong.
Ping pong, I lost. Volleyball,
I'm not
Okay.
that good at ping pong.
Volleyball-
We might be okay at it.
volleyball might be okay.
Water
Yeah.
volleyball or
No.
sand
Like-
volleyball?
No, just no.
regular
normal-
volleyball?
On grass, yeah.
On grass.
I challenge
We,
all three.
we play with our cousins almost, well, not every week, but like we try to play like as much as we can in the summer.
That's
so we've
good.
been playing a lot.
Yeah, next up, favorite team growing up?
Chelsea. I loved watching John Terry. I read his book and I've watched him since I was a kid. And he was a stud when he played. And so
Just,
You must hate that scarf over there.
you know,
I don't mind them now, that scarf over there.
Manchester United.
Manchester United,
Man
yeah.
U. I was gonna rip it down when I walked in, but I like you guys, so I'll leave it up there.
All right, favorite teams from like other sports?
I like Golden State, and I like Canucks. I follow them; they're a home team here.
Yeah,
I enjoy watching them time to time. I'm not a big hockey guy, but I will support our teams here.
Shout out Punjabi Randeep Janda, commentator, someone you're a
Yes,
friend of,
good
and
friend,
Arshdeep
yes.
Baines, who's just on the Abbotsford Canucks as well.
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. They're both doing very, very well.
Yeah.
Again, huge pillars of our community.
Yeah.
They've done so well.
yeah. I think Archdeep could potentially get called
Yeah,
up
could
this
get
year.
called up this
That's
year.
awesome.
Like he did really well in
He was
the
close
AHL.
last year, but there was like
yeah,
injury stuff, and not with him, but like the team rules.
I
and
didn't know that.
stuff.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. It's really good news.
yeah. Apparently he's like playing really well.
Yeah.
Favorite player in soccer, and in other sports if you have
So
any.
you mentioned John Terry. Anyone else?
Obviously, I see him in front of me. Messi. I love Messi. Other sports, Kobe. And Michael Jordan. Those two, I like how they play, but their mentalities.
Yeah.
Their mentality is lethal. They are born leaders. They're born fighters, right? And they will do whatever it takes. They will go the next step.
They will do it. Yeah,
They will do whatever it takes.
Yeah,
That means you got a broken pinky. You're still gonna go play that
yeah.
game.
Kobe,
in the finals.
Kobe popped his finger back in place, right? Didn't he like dislocate his finger in one game?
Yeah, that was the final run.
Wasn't that against Toronto or was that?
No, that was the 81 point game.
That's
against
the
Toronto.
81 point game.
No, I think the 09 or 2010 finals against the
Yeah, he like
Celtics.
dislocated his finger, popped it back in place,
And
came
then
back
tore
next
in his
play.
Achilles, went to take the free throws, an Achilles tear. You're out for a year essentially.
Yeah,
If that was Neymar, we wouldn't see him for the next 2 years.
yeah, right. Favorite food?
That's a tough one. I'm a big foodie. I love eating food.
Yeah,
Okay, I run every day, and so I enjoy my food. It's a very tough one. It's easy for me to say pizza, but I'm starting now to really like BLT sandwiches. When you customize your sandwiches,
yeah.
I really enjoy that with a side of like lasagna or pasta, a nice pasta on the side.
Yeah.
I'm getting hungry thinking about this.
Punjabi food.
I love machi pagoda. I love it. Shahi paneer is one of my favorites.
Shahi paneer is the best.
I can eat that.
There's a lot of people because you
Morning,
obviously eat
night.
meat. There's a lot of people that told me they prefer Shahi paneer over butter chicken, which I was a little surprised
Yes.
about. I was a
I'm
little
one of
surprised
them.
about. Yeah, like our
yes.
cousin, one of my cousins, he said the same thing. A couple of guys at work were like, yeah, they prefer the Shahi paneer over the butter chicken. Again, I don't eat meat, so I don't know what it is, but yeah.
For me, I like butter chicken too, but I've had so much chicken in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some way or another, you're gonna
I
get
just
chicken.
need a little break from chicken sometimes, and shahi paneer is my go-to.
yeah. Shahi paneer is goated.
Yeah.
I just never know how many I get like 5-6 naan, and I'm like still going.
Hall
Yeah.
party
Right.
time.
Garlic naan bread.
Yeah, with the shahi paneer,
Yeah.
it's absolutely killer. Hobby outside of sports.
I really love working out. I enjoy nature. I love walks. I love hiking. I like doing things that keep my body going. I just picked up reading recently, a few months back. I used to read magazines or just books about athletes, but now I've kind of stepped away from that, and I'm into reading. I'm actually really enjoying it.
So like you opened up the topics a little bit more, right?
Yeah,
Instead of like
it-
athletes and like
exactly, yeah. As a person, I think it helped me quite a bit too, which we can touch base about later. But I'm reading Atomic Habits right now. What a great
Yeah.
book!
Not gonna lie, I have no clue.
We don't read.
We don't read.
Yeah, no, that's
it's
the
a
thing.
really good book.
Yeah.
Right? And that's coming from me.
I used to read as a kid.
This is my second book I've ever read.
Yeah.
I used to read as a kid, like elementary school, early high school. Like after high school, I haven't.
Charlotte's Web or
Charlotte's Web, like no, like even like the Slapshot series. Obviously, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Captain Underpants as a kid.
Yeah, right.
But my favorite book, like was like a proper book, was Holes.
Yeah, it was also
the
a
one
movie
that's a
too.
movie as well too.
Yeah, I think
That was like my favorite book. I read that book many times, and then as a kid, Geronimo Stilton books were like.
there was this one,
crazy.
I think English 10. I was getting like a 56%, right? And we had this novel study left, and there was this book called The Martian, right? I get there, I got lucky, paired up with two of the smart kids in class. I was reading the book, right? I liked the book so much, right? I watched the movie, crammed like 2 nights, and got my grade up like 20%. So I would say that's my favorite book now.
you owe them a dinner of chai paneer.
Yeah, right. Favorite movie or movie series?
My favorite movie, Tears of the Sun. It's a Bruce Willis movie. You watched it yet or no?
Nope.
No.
There's an army of like 20,000, 30,000 African soldiers. You got Bruce Willis with like 8-9 guys. They're going to rescue a doctor in Uganda.
Yeah.
It's a killer movie, right? Peaky Blinders, finished it, love it. But all time, I love Suits. I've watched Suits.
That's a show.
Yeah, that shows.
The show, right?
The show.
Okay.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
series, yeah.
Well, you
Show.
You moved on to the
Yeah.
next question, but that was the.
Oh,
you answer the next question
But no,
too.
okay,
Yeah,
I'm
but-
gonna add this in Punjabi movie because I know you're a Punjabi movie guy too. I remember you called me back in the day. You want to go watch some Love Punjab or like
Yeah.
Ardas back
It's
in
so
the day.
funny you just said Love Punjab. I was watching that this morning. That's
Yeah,
how
it just-
trippy is that?
Yeah,
Literally,
right?
we have IPTV and
We
we
have
just
IP
binge movies. We watched the new one that just came out, which was okay, but Lamborghini. But other than that, like a lot of the newer movies are actually kind of decent. But yeah, like your favorite.
For my favorite one, I love Border. All time.
the
Border
Punjabi
is
movie?
it's an army movie. I love army movies in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's with Sunny Deol, India versus Pakistan, Kashmir border, right? The history behind that. That's Punjabi / Hindi.
Yeah.
Only Punjabi. When I was a kid, I liked all the Harpajan Man movies.
Dil Apna
Yeah.
Punjabi is my favorite of all
Huh?
time. Dil Apna Punjabi is my favorite of all
I
time.
love all those movies.
Yeah.
I love
That's
the
what got me into
songs.
it.
I love the songs. I love the acting. I love the clips in the bend when they come to Canada. I love all that
Yeah.
stuff.
I thought we were gonna say Angrej. I'm not gonna lie, because that's when we first met, and you
Yes.
guys and Mama and everybody, like when we were running a soccer club back then.
Yes.
Just
Was that
cranking
was
up
like
the
that go-to movie in
That
the
was
Yeah.
the
song.
go-to.
Yeah.
That was the go-to movie.
cranking all the songs in the movie too, right?
Yeah. Had a phase for that. And then
Yeah.
Yeah. So favorite Punjabi / English singer or rapper?
I couldn't name you 5 English singers other than Drake, 50 Cent,
Okay, so you're like
Eminem. Like
Okay.
I listen to hardly any hip hop.
Yeah.
Now my wife has introduced me to a bunch of stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
artists, right? So starting to get a bit more about that. But Punjabi singer of all time, eh?
I have one for you that I know we listened to a lot when we were driving.
I love Amy Virk.
Okay, not him, but yeah.
Amy Virk's good. Which one do you got?
Kalwinder Billa.
Govinder Billa. He's a stud.
Yeah.
Old school stuff. Kuldeep Manik, Gurdas Maan.
Yeah.
I love the old school
Those
beats,
old school.
the vibe. I really enjoy that.
Oh, okay.
And this is the last one. If you weren't gonna be a soccer player, what do you think you would have done?
Or any sports.
For-
Nothing sports
So
related.
nothing like, what do you think your career would be if it wasn't like soccer?
I have no idea. I have zero idea. I've never thought about anything but soccer my whole life.
Yeah, right. It's not like that.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I've never had a backup. I've never had no secondary plan. I wasn't the smartest kid in class, right? Or in our lecture halls.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It wasn't
yeah.
me. I'd be the guy in the back of the class hiding from the teacher, right?
Trying not to get picked on, right?
Trying not
Like,
to get picked on,
they're
basically.
like, hey,
Yeah,
Derek,
exactly.
answer this math
No,
question.
that'd be my cue to go to the washroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
Okay, so just no clue.
have
Nothing.
no clue. Couldn't tell you.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we'll get into your journey now. We'll start from the beginning. Why soccer? When did you start playing? And did you play any other sports?
I never played any other sports. I was in swimming. That was the one thing my parents really encouraged. Soccer was very easy to get to. It was convenient. Just my first team I ever had was GN Sports Club, and my dad took me to North Delta Secondary School, and we trained, and I trained for about 2-3 weeks, And right away the coach said, this kid's got some energy. He likes playing, and it's just coming to him naturally. And just from there, I stick to soccer the whole time. I didn't go basketball. Of course, you get older in high school, you want to play basketball or whatnot, or volleyball. I did all that, but my go-to was if it's soccer and there's basketball and I got to make a decision, it's soccer.
It's soccer, yeah.
Soccer all day. So, yeah. After that, it just stuck the whole way through. Didn't change.
At what point did you realize, so like you said soccer, that, you know what, maybe this could be my career, might go pro, even if not pro, I could get a scholarship and at least pay for my college or whatever. At what point did you realize, like, at a age, it could be a moment, whatever, that you're like, you know what, I know I'm good enough. This is when I knew that I'm like, okay, I'm here.
So I was never the most confident kid. I was very annoying when I was a kid. But when I got to like 11, 12 years old, just before the Non-Nations Cup that we went to Paris, when I got selected for that team, there was about, I think, 4,500 kids at 8 rinks. And I got chosen to be one out of 4. And right then I'm like, fuck, like, damn, like, maybe there's a chance of me actually doing something here. Maybe I'll actually achieve something here, be it scholarships or whatever, or just professionally. So I knew I wasn't the smartest kid, so my main goal was professional.
Yeah.
My dad's goal was professional. My mom's, our whole family that was the one way we're going. That's it. And then as soon as I came back from that when I was 12, provincial team started.
Yeah.
And that's when you realize, okay, now in British Columbia, you're with the top athletes of that age group. And you start getting that sense, hey, you know what? Maybe there's more here, more to achieve.
Yeah, so part of that journey, like you said, okay, at that point you realize, yeah, I've noticed now. You also got selected to go Middlesbrough, and that's huge, right? Like, people watching this might not know who Middlesbrough are, what the soccer team is. At your age when you went, they were a Premier League team, right? They weren't this championship side now, and even then they were recently called up. So you touched on breed soccer in Europe. So first of all, your experience in England, how was it? What did you do there? What was your kind of like, at what age did you play? And again, touch on, I guess, if you want more on the differences from football in England and then soccer in Canada.
So for England, I can tell you right now, it was one of the toughest things that I've ever done in my life. I can tell you this right now. I remember nights where I would sit outside from the digs I was staying at, sit on a corner, like a curb, and just cry. And it would just be bawling my eyes out. And it was so painful because I was so homesick. The bond I have with my family, especially my grandparents, and people that know me right quite well, I'm very close to them. And so for me, leaving at a young age, well, maybe not too young, right? Maybe, so 16 years old, 15 and a half, 16, it was very tough. It took me time to settle in. It took me about 4 or 5 months to settle in. New family I'm living with, single goatee. I was living with a kid from Cyprus, Marinos. Great guy, great player. He plays for Olympiakos right now in Greece. It was tough. There was a lot of racism at that time. I can tell you 2 instances right now. On the field, if I wanted water, so where Middlesbrough's training facility is, it's a big facility, and you got to walk down a big hill, and you got about 11, 12 soccer fields. So if you didn't have your water, up you go that hill, get your water, come down. And so I had to do that a couple times. They weren't willing to give me water. Again, why is a Canadian, Indian-Canadian, Indo-Canadian here, myself, coming to play in England when they have all this great talent in England? Why do they need me? So that's what they thought. I was there to fight for my position.
Yeah.
And so that's one instant. The next one, just walking around town. I go to the ATM, get money out. Guy comes out of the pub, smoking a cigarette, just flicks his ash on my hand while I'm at the ATM. I'm a young kid trying to figure out where to put my pin in, how to get my cash out.
Yeah.
And I got ash on my pinky here. And he's saying, get the fuck out. What do you want me to say at that point? Right? I'm trembling. I look at him, leave my money, and I'm gone. I have no idea what his intentions are, but but I knew for a fact I need to leave the situation. I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
So after the 6 month mark, 8 months maybe, it's when I kind of start breaking out of my shell, right? There's an article in England that came out, player comes from Canada, doing well. It came out, that gave me more confidence. So I realized that the little things I would do, so that would be the little pass I would make, gave me confidence. The header I won gave me confidence. So these little gains of success, I kept putting them in a jar, and I would do something good, in that jar it goes. I wouldn't overdo it. So those small wins for me. Those small wins is what made me feel better. But yeah, it's an experience I'll never forget. From the football side of things, the amount I've learned, the confidence I gained there, and the ability of how to play different formations, I learned a lot. The consistency and how repetitive it is, doing the same thing over and over again. Here in Canada, you'll do a session, you probably won't do that same thing until next week.
Yeah.
Right? You work on finishing, you probably won't do finishing next 2 weeks. So there it's every day you're on it. Next day you're on it again.
Like every skill, right?
Every skill, touches, technical work.
You have your own coaches too, right?
Your own coach.
You have a finishing coach. You got like a defensive
I was mentioning
coach.
this. I said this morning to one of my friends. I won't mention any names here. And I said, if we look at our coaching staff here in Canada, we have a coach, and then we have an assistant coach that's probably not even paid. In England, where I was at the age of 16, I have a head coach, assistant coach, 2 trainers, physios, all on the field. How far we are. They're this close.
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
hands-on. Okay, they're hands-on. Everyone's at deck, ready to go. Anything happens, they're there. Okay, warm-up, let's go. Warm-up's at 10. You are starting warm-up at 10 a.m. You're not there, don't bother coming. They don't care.
You know, it's a perfect example because last year, obviously being Man United fans, Marcus Rashford was 30 seconds late to a training session and he got benched. And he understood. He's like, he wasn't pouting or anything, but he's like 30 in our eyes here, like, oh, when we coach locally, it's like you're late 2 minutes, it's like, okay, go run a lap, get back into it, right? There, like you said, it's like strict, right? You experienced it firsthand. Guys like Jeevan experienced it firsthand. It's like, if you're not there, then yeah, don't show up, type of thing, right? It's like that military.
It's like a military vibe, right?
Yeah.
It is military style, but it's cutthroat. The players there, and I learned this, again, just under a year when I was there. They will do anything, the players, will do anything it takes to put that jersey on Saturday morning for the game against whoever you're playing. So in 2010, when I was there, right, you're playing Man City on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. So the week prior, on the Wednesday and Thursday, right, sometimes your jersey's not there. Someone gets your jersey and hides it. And now you're looking for a jersey or your training top, and guess what? You're late for training. Guess you're not starting against a club like Man City.
Yeah,
You
so
do.
it's like
It's cutthroat, right? You gotta have that mentality. You will grab that fucking jersey off your changing room locker there, get it, go train. And that's how it is there.
Yeah, right.
It's scary stuff, but once you're in that environment, you understand that this is what it takes. This is what these players do every single day.
yeah, right.
Nothing else matters to them.
It's their lifestyle,
It's
right?
their life.
It's
It is
their
life. That's their
right?
life.
So like,
There's nothing else.
There's not, like you said, there's no backup plan for them, right? This doesn't work,
Zero.
they're screwed, right? So they're
How
gonna do
many
everything they
athletes have
can.
we seen? Yeah, not just like Mike Tyson or
Yeah.
I'm talking about soccer here. Just in soccer, how many athletes have gone from the riches to the poor? That have hardly any money left. Well, they're making 250,000 pounds, in pounds a week.
A week, yeah.
A week. And career's over or retired or got injured. Happens all day long across the world, right? Got injured, career's done. What are you going to do? What's your backup? Have you invested? Are you an entrepreneur? Have you gone to school? Nope.
Obviously, Canada soccer. So we'll touch on that quickly then right now. I was going to talk about it later, but might as well bring it up now. Canada soccer, back then, obviously you said it was like back in 2010. We didn't care for men's soccer because it was crap. Like no one really watched it. The people that, like, I didn't know who Atiba Hutchison was, and I know he played back then until, FIFA?
Yeah, basically,
it was FIFA,
FIFA.
when I saw, like, who's this 80 overall Turkish or Canadian Turkish league player. I think it was Galatasaray.
I think
Or Besiktas, sorry.
Besiktas, yeah.
And then that was one name I saw. I think at the time, it wasn't until Alphonso Davies came into the scene, right? And then propelled. So my question to you now is, obviously you saw the shit show of Canada soccer right now, right? We finally make a World Cup. The women won Olympics. And this World Cup, they bowed out early. And a lot of it's because you see the drama behind the scenes. They're going bankrupt, essentially. How much in Europe, from early 2010 or 2011, how much did it grow and then fall back down? Or where do you think the current state of soccer is in Canada? And did you see like an improvement for a time being, but not anymore?
There has definitely been a big improvement from where it was. I'm talking about funding, number one. There's funding that's come in. There are new leagues that are starting up. So one thing I've seen across Canada, especially in BC and Ontario, let's give an example here. So for our viewers, maybe they can understand, it makes more sense. The Whitecaps team, you have an academy team. Then you have a Whitecaps 2 team, which you never had before. You have an MLS first team. All right. So first academy, reserves, and the first team, right? As soon as you're done academy, if you can't play reserves, you're not good enough, or you can try training, you're still too young, keyword young, right, to play for the first team, right? You're still like 16, 17, they already have a top-notch players playing there. We introduced Whitecaps 2. Okay, that's good, right? That actually gave now more players a transition from academy, Whitecaps 2, play there, go into reserves, first team. So the pathway is building, okay, from the Whitecaps level of things. For Canada Soccer, same thing. They have been doing more camps. I can say that firsthand because I have spoken to someone that is currently with the program, and they said there's more camps happening. There's personal funding. I'm not talking about per DMs per day. I'm talking about the actual cost you get monthly from Canada Soccer. That's gone up a good percentage. But the thing is, it's a talent. We need to start, I think Canada, start really helping out the youth, the grassroots level. It's got to start from there, right? Instead of a U15, 16 team, start a U9, U10 team. If we had a facility, like let's say, I think it's a IMG in the States, massive facility.
Yeah.
Right, massive. If we had a facility like that in, let's say UBC or Toronto, and that was a hub of Canada soccer, our talent was there. And I mean 4 or 5 times a year, 6, 7 if possible, right? Again, funding related, train there for a month. You're there for a month and you're training. You're building with the team. You get to know the team, right? Again, like I said before, the teams always change.
Yeah.
That would be tremendous. Countries have that. A lot of countries, they have that when we don't yet.
Canada basketball has taken that approach where, like U.S. basketball too, back when the Kobe and LeBron guys played, that it was a lot of turnover, but then what Canada basketball said now is, listen, we want a 3-year commitment. If you're in, you're in. If you're out, then you're out. I don't care what level you are. I don't want like people coming in and out, right? So now, like, they beat France yesterday. At the time of this recording, yesterday. Which was, you wanted to say before, right? Because Canada basketball and Canada soccer are in a similar situation talent-wise, because it was just Steve Nash and that's it. Canada soccer-wise, like, yeah, you're right, because obviously the reports we see, because we don't know connections, obviously you have some connections, so you kind of have some idea of what's happening, but the funding at the grassroots level is like where they're saying it's key, right? Like, or attract dual citizens like you did Alphonso Davies, for example, but
Owen Hargreaves.
yeah, so like guys like that, but now there's, because I know there's we're not going to talk about Canada soccer strictly here, but like like the whole CSB stuff, we're not going to get into that right now, but yeah, like all these like guys like Peter Galindo and all these analysts, Christian Jack and everybody, it's the grassroots level. I know Diana Matheson, she's opening up a women's league, but they still need more teams right now. Only the Whitecaps committed, I believe, and I think Toronto or someone in Ontario had committed, but they still need 6 more teams or 5 more teams. Right, so that's where it has to start, because like you're not gonna grow. Like, you got lucky, Alphonso Davies. Yes, he wanted to represent Canada because this is where he grew up from, being from Africa. But you're not gonna get like Leo Messi, just out of nowhere.
No.
Essentially, right?
So like, okay, you know how you mentioned like try to build a U9 grassroots team, right? Like as like a U7, say someone like you, how you fell in love in soccer like so early on, it gives you something to play for like from U7, right? As a kid, instead of like, okay, it's like U15, I have to wait like what, another 10 years just to, get somewhere, right? We're at that U9. If you have that there, right, they could like be like, okay, I have this to play for, and try to make this, and just like competing, like the compete level between the kids will also go up as well.
If we had more facilities and we had more education, so if Canada Soccer cracked down in the provinces and the provinces start cracking down on the local coaches, educate them. And I learned this when I came back from England, something like your warm-ups, right? Like you mentioned, Joban, like it shouldn't just be run 3 laps for your warm-up. How unrealistic is that? Get the ball, do a warm-up with the ball. At that age, the ball is your best friend. And you need to be comfortable with that soccer ball. Running is easy. Running will come at school, at recess, at lunch. You'll run all day. You'll get it, how to run.
Yeah.
Run with the ball. Run to that cone and back. Run through these cones. Right. So stuff like that should be implemented at a young age.
Pretty much what the US is doing now. Like, that's how you're going to get players like scouted to go to. Now, yeah, Canada has done a better job. Alfonso Davies, Tejan Buchanan, Stefan Eustáquio, so on and so forth. We mentioned how T.Y. Hutchison are getting scouted, but the US have taken that next level. Like you said, the funding.
The
to
amount
get
of
scouted.
emails.
Yeah,
Amrit, the amount of emails that I'm getting, and I currently get, about the combines in the States at young ages,
yeah.
it's insane. And I compare that to Canada, we'll have maybe 5-6 combines. The States has like 20 plus combines across the country.
What was it like when you were? So how many camps did you have before your like games when you played for Canada?
3.
17, 20?
Lucky to have 3.
Lucky to have 3.
For only 2 weeks each. So I'm gonna play in a big game against Mexico in a big stadium with a defender I've only played with maybe 6 weeks in total, and we played about 6 games. Where Mexico over there have a back line that train together, play together, understand if that player goes there, I'll be here.
Yeah.
He'll pass the ball to my left foot because he knows me that well. I want to have my right foot. He knows me that well. Big difference.
Yeah.
And you can see that on the field. The chemistry that
The chemistry
Canadians
is key,
have
yeah.
compared to other countries, I'd say it's day and night at times.
Yeah, you can see like disconnection, right? Because like positioning wise is key, because positioning is very important, because like especially when you're defending, right? Like you defend as a unit type of thing, right? That's how you hold teams out, especially teams that are better than you, right? So like holding your position, like say your center back partner, right? He steps up, then you're like, okay, if he's stepping up, what do I do? Type of thing.
True. Very true.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So obviously we'll come back now to, obviously we brought about your journey a little bit there from your experiences, but you mentioned the support like that was just from Canada Soccer. Let's talk about the support you personally, not just family, but because again, we didn't know you when you were playing Canada Soccer. We met 2015, 16 when you started coaching Joban, funny enough, which we'll get into the funny stories.
That was
later.
the hardest time of my life, coaching Joban.
But no, what was that support like from the Punjabi community back then? And like you got interviews from Omni, for example, and then you also did those interviews in Punjabi, so like the Punjabi culture. So what does the Punjabi culture as a whole mean to you, and how much support did you get from the Punjabi community that was not your family? Let's just stay with that.
From the community, tremendous amount of support, and without a doubt of it, they had my back. They would always come watch my games. The media was always there. Interviews were always reaching out for Darpin Magazine, Mahfil Magazine, Omni, whatever it may be, right? That just gave me more incentive to my drive just picked up more. That I wanted to just go and do it. Right? I kind of enjoyed it, getting my name out there, but my talent that I was showing, I was doing something well, and it showed kids that were younger than me. If I can do it at a young age to that level, anyone can do it.
Anyone has
an opportunity to do it. So the Punjabi community itself, to me, as much as maybe back then not as much, and obviously the day and age now we live in with the gangs, gang violence, it wasn't as much back then, but it was nice to see some positive news. And they really broadcasted that. They really were there to show that to everyone, that there is something good happening in our community. There's not only just the bad things that we hear all day long. There's good stuff that people are doing. And so it's encouraging. It's encouraging to see.
How about the non-Punjabi community? Like, did you have like friends that were, white, black, Chinese, etc.? Other parts of Punjabi, not even like other Indian, like Hindi, Muslim support from.
I have all kinds of friends
and support
in sport, right?
Yeah.
When I played with Delta, like my coach was a Gora guy, and Greg Parks. I still see him till this day, and every time we meet, we give a big hug.
Yeah.
Right? I see his wife at Sun God when I'm working out. Big hugs. Always, they come over to my house. I go to their house. They're always encouraging me, motivating me. That's nice.
I guess that's the one good thing about Canada compared to Europe is like you'll get that multicultural
You'll get
support.
that, yes. You'll get the support from everyone. I've been blessed in that sense. I've been blessed.
Yeah.
I've had the opportunity to make a lot of friends from different backgrounds, cultures, the way they've been grown up, where they've been grown up. It was nice seeing even the friends I've made with Team Canada. I've seen guys that came from refugee camp. Abdullah Silia, I played with him. He had nothing. He had no father. He had a mom that had nothing. And he was a stud on our team. Left winger, built like an absolute animal. And he was killing it for us. So being friends with him and talking to him, hearing his story, thinking about how blessed I am to get food on my plate, train in a beautiful grass or turf field. I'm lucky.
Yeah. This might be a little bit tough end to the discussion here. What caused you to stop playing? Like I said, like doing your research on you a little bit and obviously getting to know you. Canada Soccer U20. So that's literally, you were like 19, 20 years old. I think you played U23 Whitecaps, right? So after that, what happened? Like what made you to go towards the local side? Like when did the dream or journey stop for Derrick?
So when I got back in 2018, 2018 I got back. I was signed with SFU. So I was talking to a coach here and he got me into SFU, and I thought NCAA was a route to take. I did that. I, again, wasn't the smartest in class at all.
Yeah.
I'm scared to say my GPA, but I'll say it was like 0.4, 0.5 GPA. Right? It was shit. It was shocking, right? But I was playing really good. Rookie of the year, MVP. I was killing it. And so Whitecaps came knocking. And here's the thing. If I sign professionally with the Whitecaps, I can never play NCAA again. That's done.
Yeah.
I took that chance. I went there. All going well. I got in a car accident.
Okay.
I got in a car accident and it just happened right here near Newton, actually, on 127 and 76 by Benny's Market. And I was out for a bit. That kind of shook things up for me. I couldn't train 5 times a week how I wanted to. I couldn't jump how I wanted to. That really put a toll on my body. So I trained locally. I played locally, VMSL. I did all that. I wanted to give it one more chance. I had a lot of support, tremendous support from my father, especially. So I gave one more chance with TFC. Went to TFC. They were just going through a transition period with a new coach. So it was a good time for me to go. My agent got me there with Danny Dicchio. You heard about it?
I think I heard
He's
the
on
name.
TSN.
Yeah.
Awesome guy. Got there, played for about 6-7 months with TFC. Enjoyed it. And again, Whitecaps came calling. And so that's when the Whitecaps 2 was just getting up and going. So do I play Toronto FC or do I want to go back home? All right. I was offering good money, my family, friends. All right. So it was an easy decision for me. I wanted to go back. I was homesick a bit. So I was playing the Whitecaps, was enjoying it. I was still finding it tough at times to play consistently. Obviously, at times the injury would kick back in, My back was getting tighter. I never had that before. My back would get tighter. I had lost some fluid in my disc, my L4, L5 disc.
Yeah.
So I started getting sciatica. And that sciatica put me out. When I'm out, I'm out. I'm out for 2 weeks. I'm out for a month. I'm out for 3 days. It wasn't consistent. It wasn't consistent at all. Coaches don't want that.
Yeah.
If you're going to take that next big step to that next level, you got to be on the ball, fully committed. You're training Monday to Friday. You're at the game on Saturday. And I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Sad. Very sad.
So that pretty much ended your career at that point.
Yeah. Professional career ended there. But the passion to play was still there.
Yeah.
I still wanted to play. Enjoyed my playing. Enjoyed coaching. Being around the sport. I'll always be around the sport.
Yeah.
I love the sport. I enjoy it. But that was a very tough time. Like it was.
Yeah, I think I'd heard, like, I personally didn't fully know your story. Even surprising, enough, I thought I would have known, but I knew there was a car accident. I just didn't know what happened because I didn't know your TFC stint till like when we first met. After I saw like it was when we first followed each other on Instagram, and I scrolled through, and I'm like, oh shit, he played for TFC. I didn't know. I knew the Whitecaps. I heard from Jeevan guys it was Middlesbrough as well, but I didn't know the TFC side. But it's good to know there. But okay, like moving on. Sticking with soccer still, like your journey, you obviously the professional route ended there. You literally just mentioned still want to play, still want to coach. So sticking with the playing side first, we'll get into coaching in a second. Why play men's league? People call it beer league all the time too. So was it always like, okay, you know what, if I can't play here, let me just play. I still want to play for fun. Like money doesn't have to be an issue. I could find another job or whatever the case may be, or coaching. So why Premier, essentially, because you play Prem and VMSL, for example, in this case.
So all the friends that I had that were basically from UBC, SFU, ex-professionals, they all played Prem.
Yeah.
I didn't get ever a single penny to play for Prem.
Yeah.
To this day, I've never received a penny to play. Some players do. I never have, personally.
Yeah.
Never wanted it, never needed it. I just wanted to play.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed playing. There's good talent in the Premier League.
Yeah, no, I used to
There's
come
good
watch you
talent in the
guys
Prem,
every Friday. Not even just you guys, like the local clubs at the time.
Yeah,
where
right,
you're currently-
like-
I remember. I saw you. Yeah.
There were solid games.
And, there's some solid games, good games, 2-1, 1-0, right? Aggressive games, passionate players.
You wanted to play for fun, but still be competitive at the same time.
Here's the thing: you play for fun, Amrit, but when on the field, I played against my best friends.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It didn't matter.
Like, what's the point of playing Div 3, Div 4? Like, you're not that level.
No,
like, if you're gonna play, you're gonna play for fun, like you said, but still want to challenge yourself and compete.
Yeah, of
whether it be
course.
with your friends or against your friends or whatever the case may be.
I personally, this could change for everyone else. I like to play. I like to win.
Yeah.
I like to compete. I like to play against the best players. I enjoy that. Right? Stakes get higher. Right? If I win, it makes me feel like I've achieved something. And I love that. Right? And I set my goals towards that. But it's, again, people call it a beer league. End of the games, someone brings a case of beer. You're shooting the shit with your buddies. You
Yeah.
go home. Nothing too serious.
Yeah.
You train once a week, twice a week. You play on the Friday, right? So it's not too bad. I enjoyed it. It was something there for me.
Okay, the other thing, there's a local tournament here that happens in Richmond every year, Nations Cup. And this is where I wanted to get touch. You mentioned talent earlier, but like you specifically, there's the different nations that play: Canada, India, Africa as a whole. It's not like specific countries, right? Like the Caribbean is represented as a whole. So why did you want to play a Nations Cup? Again, it's another Premier level tournament, another beer league type tournament, as people want to call it. But it's fun to watch over at Richmond. So why represent India, not Canada? And and why'd you want to play in those tournaments to showcase showcase what you guys have?
So, firstly, play for India. I am so in debt to my parents and what they've been through, especially my dad, what he's been through. And I've been raised where I know our history. I know the sacrifices that our parents have all made to come here. So being Indian, Punjabi, a Sikh, to me, I'm so blessed. I am so blessed. And it makes me happy. I enjoy it. So playing for India was a sense of pride for me. And with the amount of talent that we have in our community, we have challenged that trophy in the finals. We've made the finals in that tournament. We have won that tournament more than any other country.
Yeah, like every year you're either a finalist or you win it.
Exactly.
It's almost every.
And
yeah,
so
every
me
year.
picking India was me showing everyone there, all the countries, the coaches, the referees, the organizers, that when you put a team of these Indian players all together, look what we can do. Look what we can do. We will challenge any team you put in front of us. It didn't matter. We had that talent, speed, skill, strength, you name it, we had it. We were the fully rounded team. We had everything that we needed.
Oh no,
Right.
And it's fucking amazing because you know you're gonna go that tournament, you're gonna slap teams.
Yeah, right.
And every team is scared to play India.
yeah.
Until this day, I can say that 100%. Teams do not like playing us because they know what they're gonna get. They're gonna get fast, speed, passion. Right? Look at example CJ. He's almost 35, 36 years old, and he single-handedly can control a midfield. Just his drive, his passion to be playing men's open. He can play over 30s if he wants, but no, he decides to play open to show what he can do. And that's just one guy. Think about 11 players that have that drive.
Like that, right? Yeah.
You can't stop that team.
Yeah, so like you mentioned the talent, so like I want you to go into that now a little bit more. Where do you think, like you obviously went and the car accident ruined you, but there's other talent. You mentioned names earlier like Sahil Sandhu, Bobby Jutty, and all these guys, right? Even on the female side, you had the Jasmine Dandas, the Jasmine Manders, who by the way, shout out to her Canadian coach as well on the coaching
Go
staff.
Jasmine, I love you.
The Simran Dhaliwal, like she was around my age, right? Currently Jeevan, who's at 17 years old doing this. But then there's a lot of people like you mentioned in that tournament that could had an opportunity. Why do you think it didn't work out? Is it like a parents thing, like like the classic doctor, lawyer, engineer, and they're just here for fun? Is it because the players' mindset was maybe different? Like they just want to play for fun. Screwed, like I don't want to go like what you went through in England. Yeah, so what are your thoughts on that? Like where do you think it went wrong for the Indian community, Punjabi community?
Well, some of the players personally, they have careers.
Yeah.
And when you're building a career, especially in this community, the parents are always the parents that I personally know. I can only talk for myself. Those parents are very supportive. They come out, watch all the games.
Yeah.
All right, and I can say that firsthand. I've seen that. It's basically the players that decide, I can't make this game. I can't do that. I got to focus on this now. So as soon as your mindset now is shifted towards my career, that side of sports takes kind of a step back. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise. I'll tell you why. We are now giving opportunity to the young generation.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm 31 now. Last month at Nations, there was a 19-year-old playing, 20-year-old playing, 21-year-old playing.
So what you're saying is over 35 coming soon.
Easy,
over
buddy.
30s coming soon.
Over 30s.
Not yet. I'm still playing open.
Yeah.
I'll play open. No, but yeah. So it's seeing that, it just shows again what I said earlier, how much talent we have in our community. It's amazing. It's fucking mind blowing that you can have back-to-back years, like you said, finalists, right? We win the champions. Now you have 19-year-old playing. We just won the trophy.
And yeah, you just won.
And that 19-year-old just got defender of the tournament. So
Once upon a time held by yourself.
yeah.
But like that's clear evidence, right? Like, you know, no matter what happens, you know, the talent is still there because, you know, you chuck in a 17-year-old playing with 30-year-olds, it's still the same result.
I'll say it, like my personal belief here again. I think in our community, our parents will go the next step. They will go extra. They will, if it's twice a week training, they'll find a way to get a third day of training. If it's 1 hour training, okay, no problem. Let's get the extra half an hour after training, do some suicides, do some ball work.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've been through it. All right. I got so many stories of my dad, things that he's done to me when I was playing that. Jesus. Right? And again, back then I'm thinking, what is this man doing?
Yeah.
Do you even love me?
Yeah.
Right?
Like,
Am I your son? And then you think about it like, wow, like it actually makes sense. Like that was his way of showing love and giving everything that he had in him towards me. Give me that support.
It also depends on the parent at the time, right? Like, so we didn't. How were you exposed to athletics in Surrey or anywhere around the world? Because with my mom, for me was because like my mom and dad came from India, and their mindset is the life in Canada to give our kids the best opportunity is go to school, do doctor, lawyer, engineer, whatever. Pick a career, stick with it. Obviously, we started the podcast. Shout out to my parents; they're supporting us fully with this because they realize, okay, maybe there is something to it. When they first met you, and this is when you were coaching him, and they realized like, okay, maybe you could do something with soccer because, for example, Jeevan, their own nephew, is doing it now. But obviously for us, it may have been a little too late. So now they acknowledge that like, yeah, there is a career there. So do you think that mindset has now shifted? Like you said, the 19-year-old, because I think back then at your age, even my age, not like obviously people might have gone to sport, but maybe there are people that didn't get that support. And nowadays, now you'll see like 19-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 20-year-olds get that support from the parents. And like, hey, if you want to be a soccer player, we're fully on board. We don't need to force you to go to school, but still educate yourself. And you could try to become a career. So that mindset shift for you as well from the parents in the community that you know.
I'm not going to mention names, but I know 2 players currently that are playing in Surrey. One just came back from Colombia. One came back in the summer from Portugal. They're playing there. One went to trial. One's actually already signed with the team. I also know a player. He was a player first. He's younger. I think maybe he's a couple years older than Joban. He's an agent. He's a player agent. So that's mind. Yes, it's taking a shift now in the sense that parents are seeing that doors are open for us.
Yeah.
Okay, doors are open. Be an athlete. Jasmine Mandir, if not playing, game analysis, head coach, assistant coach, become an agent for our players. So we're still in that sports environment, but we're tapping into physiotherapy, massage therapy, athletics, game analysis. So there's a bunch of stuff we can do. So that's why now, and again, people are making a career out of this. It's their passion.
Yeah.
Getting paid doing it. Can't complain, can you?
Yeah.
And the parents are seeing that now.
Yeah.
And again, it comes down to education. It comes down to someone that's actually done it. And now it comes down to those parents seeing that. Seeing, hey, this person used to train at Newton, and now he's all over there.
Yeah.
What just happened? So their eyes are opening up,
Yeah.
and their minds opened up now to more options.
The more Punjabi, especially with the Punjabi side of things, I know we're focused on the Punjabi side of things right now, but the more parents in general, especially in the Punjabi community, see other Punjabis become successful, they're like, okay, yeah, now they have the proof. Like I said, my parents with you, right? And now you mentioned Jasmine and her coaching career and other players and that turn into physios and stuff. Your coaching career, how did it begin, and why did you start coaching? And when did you start?
I first started coaching in 2019.
I think your times are off. Because
no,
I've known you since 2016.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, this is 20. No, that's wrong.
Yeah.
It was when I came back from England. That was 2013.
Yeah. Okay.
2013 when I first started. I had a girls team for Van United.
Was this after the accident and everything? Or was it during?
I did a couple teams before.
Oh, okay.
Just 1 or 2. Very low key. Wasn't much. Didn't get too serious into it. Just really enjoyed it. That was 2013 girls team Van United. Enjoyed that for a few years, and then I got with CCB. That's when obviously we all met and met Cam. Cam had a few teams I took in charge of. It was it was a paid position for me, but number 2, I love doing it. From 4:30 to 9, 10 o'clock on the field, any knowledge that I have, giving it to kids that are younger, from the ages of, well, that time was old, I coached 12 to 14, and seeing them apply it in the games, it gave me so much happiness. And the parents loved it, and it showed me that they were listening. They want to learn. And I felt, that's the first time I really felt like a mentor.
Like a role model.
I felt like a role model, a mentor for these kids. And from there, I just wanted to keep going at it. Keep going at it.
Okay, yeah. So, like I mentioned, played in England. You had various different coaches in your career. You said you started off with GN, different coach there. You mentioned a coach, and you mentioned many other coaches. How important? And this is a question we asked Jeevan actually, because like sometimes it could be like, well, this coach told me to do this. Well, Derrick told me to do this. Oh, well, this coach did. How much did you? Is it time? Like, how much do you have to learn and adapt? Because you can't be like my way high or the highway. As well as let's say you're doing one-on-one training with someone, but the coach has a different philosophy. How much do you can't even as a coach overstep their boundaries as well? So like that sense.
So are you asking?
Okay, I'll break it up. I know that was like a little long-winded. First part.
I got the first part. Basically, how important is a coach? You're saying?
Yeah.
In players
and like a coach to learn not from just other coaches but players and different styles.
So again, I'll answer that question. We spoke about counter soccer from the before. If we had a system in place where every coach, every province was on the same page, it'd be very easy. Okay, we're playing 4-3-3. Engrave that in these kids. Okay, easy. Different coaches. You're winning, you're losing. It always changes. We realize that, right? So it's good for the players to learn different styles. I highly recommend that. When I'm coaching, I make sure my players understand 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3. I'll make sure they understand if by any means we have to make a change, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
So it's not the fact that we're kind of going away from what the coaches are saying. For example, for the basics. Okay, to control the ball, one coach would say, control it when the ball bounces once, foot on top. I say is try to get the ball without the bounce.
Yeah.
Okay, it's two basic things, but again, in the game environment, things change on a fly. So my coaching style and what I've learned from various coaches, as you mentioned, I take bits and pieces from every coach. What I need, what Derrick needs. Okay, I didn't know how to score on attacking corners. I didn't know what to do, how to do it. And I realized that this coach was telling me the angle of the ball, and one coach was telling me how I should aim my forehead. So I took two different coaches, and I applied what I needed. And I've scored 3 goals now from corners. Not that much, but I'm a defender, so don't judge me too much, guys. But again, I learned that, and it helped me. So it's pick and choose. You're picking and choosing what you need.
And also, like, you coach various levels, right? Like, you've coached men's, you've coached kids, you've coached boys, you've coached girls, you've coached Div 1, you've coached Prem, you've coached Div 4. So it's not, you're not going to coach a Prem Div 1 team like a Div 4 team. Like, the Div 4 team is just there to probably have fun. So it's not like, you still want to be competitive, but it's not like, but you also got to understand, okay, this is what I want you guys to fix, but you don't have to go hard into them as much as, say, your Prem team, right? So there's that as well. In terms of adapting the environment. That's
a really good question. I just did a summer camp last weekend, and I was coaching kids. They're all the same age, but the levels were very different. So what I did was, one side I had the intensity is always there. Okay, the speed, you want speed and intensity, right? And that's a simple passing pattern. But what I did was, it's my decision. Do I want to make a square? That's very simple. Pass around the square. Or can I change the angles? Add a diamond in the square. Now there's more players moving, more distractions. So now this is working a bit more.
Yeah.
So I just kind of changed that around and I adapted there. And it worked. So intensity, speed, those things are always there. It's just the way you want to set your drills up. That kind of change, and you do what you gotta do. Those teams.
Do you also think the difference between each level, right, is the speed of play? Like, is that the main thing, right?
Big time. As a coach, you want to, again, we always say ball down and play. Get the ball and play. Get the ball and play. That's great. That's amazing. But again, you got to make it game realistic. Teach the kids, if you're up 1-0, 5 minutes left, do you really need to put the ball down and go play? Because I've seen that happen.
Yeah.
I'm winning 1-0, and I won't mention this person's name because I think you guys know them. We're winning 1-0, puts the ball down, in a rush, go, passes the ball, loses it, other team scores, game's tied. 2 minutes left, 1-1. And I'm wondering, no, delay the game.
Right?
Teach them, make them understand the game.
You know, get in the corner.
Get in the corner.
Get in the corner, right? Basically.
Kick it 40 yards.
Kick it 40 yards
Kick
down.
it 40 yards over the net.
Kick it in a parking lot.
I guess like last thing before I have a funny question to ask you too. But with coaching, like everyone doesn't start off premier level, right? I played a Div 4. Let's just say I started and I wanted to go higher and higher and hopefully play Prem one day. Obviously, it didn't happen for me. But when you're coaching a Div 4 guy, you also want to, like, obviously when you see their level capable of playing higher, you're gonna move them up.
Mm-hmm.
But like at Div 4, you also don't want to like ruin the kid's confidence as a coach and be like, oh yeah, this is what the hell are you doing? You messed this up. Go sit on the bench, right?
Yeah.
They're there to start off to have fun, but eventually, like if they realize, okay, well, I might be good at this, like how you said when you got selected for Duno, even before that with GN, okay, I enjoyed it. Now let me try to get better and better, and then obviously adapt as we go, right? You also, as a coach, you don't want to be like, oh yeah, this winning everything. Like you want to develop if they want to continue on, and you don't want to ruin the kid's confidence either, right? At that age too, like at a young age.
Again, think about this. Belief is the enemy of doubt. So as a coach myself, Div, for example, I need to motivate them. I know they're not there to go train an hour and a half, high intensity, or do this. But the drills I'm gonna do, I gotta make sure that they're happy. They're having fun.
Yeah.
So they train Tuesday, they're gonna come back on Thursday.
Yeah. Right.
They're not gonna give up on me.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? I gotta change my style a bit where I'm almost your friend. And again, a coach should be a friend.
Yeah.
And I always encourage that. There's something, and I've said this before many times, there's something away from the field that's bothering you and affecting yourself on the field. I'm an ear here. I'm an open ear, right? You want my opinion? I'll give you my opinion, my advice. If not, I'll just listen.
Yeah.
I'll just listen, and I'm okay with that. But I'm always there for my players.
Yeah.
And you guys have seen that firsthand. So yeah, it's a big shift.
All right. So funny question. Any stories you have that are like how do you deal with annoying players or annoying parents that like my kid is number one, you know, this guy should be playing, why is he on the bench type of thing? How do you deal with it? And if you have any story, you could, without naming names, and if you do, we could obviously bleep it out. If you have any, you could share.
So a little while ago, it's actually the most recent one, I was dealing with this player. Actually, you know what? I don't think he was even a player. It was just a human being trying to be a player.
Yeah.
And we're playing a simple numbers game, right? For those of you that don't know, watching here, guys, 2 nets. Okay, you got 4 players here and 4 players here. You number each player off. If I say 1 or if I say 2, those numbers go on the attack, right? I asked this player about 3 times. Do you know what number you are? Yes, coach. You sure? Yes, coach. I'm number, yes, I know. Okay. I call his number. He's number 3. Number 3, let's go. Other player comes. He doesn't move. And I ask him, you told me your number. No, coach. That number's not for me. It's for someone else. I let it slide by.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. We go again. Number 3. That player comes. Player doesn't go. What's going on? He's like, firefighters. I thought you were calling me a firefighter.
At that point, like he's probably like punking you.
No, I legit thought I was being punked.
Yeah.
I'm like, firefighters? What are you talking about? I'm not saying this is a young player.
Yeah.
This is a player that is at an age where he knows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Okay. Next time comes on. 3rd time. I call 3. That player's up again. This player has his hands on his net like this, looking up there. And that's when I'm like, you know what? I can't anymore. I went to the parents after the practice and I said, I need to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're like, that's how he likes to play soccer. And I had to have a good conversation with the parents, explain them that soccer is not what you want it to be whenever you want it to be. As a coach, I'm doing drills. But I guess these parents weren't educated.
Yeah.
They thought soccer was just for the kid to come, shoot the shit, run around, do what he wants.
That's where you gotta know the guy's level, or if he had any.
And exactly,
know if something's actually going on. And
I was so confused, but yeah, that was a very tough situation. That tested my patience.
Yeah.
Right, that tested my patience very well.
How about this? And Joban could talk to this as well because he kind of experienced this more so than I have. Because I got lucky when I'm coaching his team, I didn't deal with sideline coaching. how many annoying did you have like annoying parents that are like, why is my kid not playing? And then also yelling on the sideline. You're saying, you know, Joban, go over there. But then you hear like, let's just say me yelling or my dad yelling, Joban, what are you doing? Go over there. Like, how about that? I think that's like the biggest pet peeve of a coach. Probably.
Anytime I start coaching a team, I have a parents meeting and I make it crystal clear. If I'm coaching on this side of the field, don't fucking stand on this side of the field.
Yeah.
Go stand across the field.
And don't yell from there either.
Yeah.
They're gonna yell. That's fine. I can't stop them. I always say don't yell. Encourage your son or daughter.
Yeah.
Encourage them, right?
But
sure.
not like coach.
But in our community, we know what yelling
Yeah.
is. It's in their blood, right? They're gonna yell no matter what. We tell them not to yell. They're gonna yell 4 or 5 more times. Add a couple more swear words in there. Right? That's our community at times. So I'll do that number one. It's kind of it's a funny story now looking back at it, but it's kind of a sad story at first. I was coaching this girls team, and this parent kept coming by. His son actually plays for Team India right now for Nations Cup.
Men's or youth?
Men's.
Men's.
Saying no names.
Okay.
And his sister, I was coaching at that time. And the dad comes, and she missed like 2 open nets. She was having a terrible game. I had no subs. She had to stay on the field.
Yeah.
Made it very clear. I'm like, ex-player, you're staying on no matter what. You miss, whatever, right? The dad's yelling in my ear, right? Right? I'm going to do this to you. Why are you playing soccer? We spent so much money on you. And he's passionate. He's very passionate, verbally.
Yeah.
And he's right next to me. I just turned around and I said, listen, you can't say that.
Yeah.
No matter to anyone, you just can't say that. You're demoralizing. You're really attacking her right now.
There's like...
Came halftime. I subbed her off. She wasn't having it. Super emotional. I played that game with 10 men. Right? 10 players only.
Yeah, 10 players.
I lost that game. I was okay with it. But I made a point to that dad that day. Rather than you doing that and ruining my style of coaching, you're attacking my player at that time. Yeah, she's your daughter, but you're attacking my team basically, right? Putting everyone down, causing a scene. I'll play with a man or woman short. And so I did that. We lost the game. I was fine with it. I was fine losing that game. Because I proved a point that day to the parents. If that's what you're going to do, see you later.
Yeah.
Your kid's not going to play.
Good way to do
right?
it.
You're leaving.
It's like you want to support them, but like not like that either.
It was bad.
You don't want to have like no-show parents, but at the same time, you don't want to have like overly aggressive parents. Yeah.
Amrit, it got bad,
Yeah.
man. It was
I
like...
know because you dealt with that Metro team for a little bit. I know they're probably watching this podcast, but some of them might. But like the sideline coach, like I remember watching, just I was bored. I'm like, oh, let's see how Joban coaches, and then I'm like watching the game, and I'm like, this is. I'm just sitting there annoyed. Even now that I've stopped coaching him and he plays men's with my cousin. And at times I feel weird not yelling because like you're used to coach this guy for your whole life. I would tell him like I'll encourage you, but yeah, go do this, or I'll see him like sit down, like do that. Where before, but that's it. Like during the game, I'm sure.
All he tells me is your one-on-one defending sucks.
That's after the game.
I just want to apologize to you guys for yelling at you two, by the way, because if you guys don't know, they referee at times.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
I try holding it in, but
We're gonna get to ref stories after.
okay, yeah, because
we'll
I remember
get to
one
that.
time. Oh yeah,
because we have stories with my dad. Just remember my dad, dude.
Oh, God. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
He's here, by the way. We're talking about
Referee's
it.
number one enemy right there.
We need a
Okay.
guest. Call your dad's a guest speaker. He'll be fired up with that story.
But no, okay. We're gonna do a tough transition now. You obviously know where I'm gonna go with this. You mentioned earlier you're a family man. You were homesick England. You were homesick in Toronto. Family support. This is where we're gonna go. During the time I knew you, first off, your grandpa passed away, and that was close. You guys were close, and obviously didn't take a big effect on us. We were trying to support you, right? I guess very quickly, what were some of the things that give a little tribute? I guess you could say. Obviously, it's been a while now, but how did he shape you up to be the man you are today in terms of playing, coaching, and as a person? And yeah, like
So
any fun story you have, even.
My grandpa was a very quiet man, very supportive, very respected man, and he was very young. It was a sudden passing. I heard it. He was in India, and I heard it when I was back here. And I was so blessed because everyone would say, Derrick, you're so lucky. You have grandparents, you have your mom's parents, nana nani. I had all four. And I had my grandma's mom. My great grandma was still alive. And so losing my grandpa was a big shock for me. And I've never seen death. I didn't know what death was. My dad, my parents, they sheltered me. They kept me hidden away from all that stuff. I didn't see stress, tension, pain, trauma. I didn't have that bringing up. I was so blessed to have the bringing up that I did until that painful day, right, when that all happened. He taught me a lot. He taught me quality time with their family, how much you can learn. He basically, I'd come home after a game I lose. The first thing he would always say, Jit har hundi hai. You win some, you lose some. That's sport. You can't be a sportsman without winning and losing. Everyone will lose one day. And that's how you become the best winner. Right? And that's really stuck with me. And it's great advice. I still say that to some of the players that get upset. There's a lot of passionate players I coach, and I explain that if we lose, and again, I'm passionate myself, and you guys have seen that. If we lose, how did we lose? What's the outcome? What are the gains from this now? It's not the end of the world. Take 24, 48 hours after a game, cool down, talk about it then. Don't talk about the things that are causing you pain and you're upset about in the moment of the heat. Here's the moment, sorry. So
that's like the main advice you want to share to people watching that.
That's really, really, really important that he taught me.
Okay, second one, you're wearing the shirt right now. Obviously we're gonna have a picture. You guys are gonna see us posted on Instagram. And this one hit us hard too because we knew Brandon Bassi personally. Your younger brother, gone too soon, right? Car accident. Also a fellow soccer player. A lot of talent there as well. And the reason why we're gonna bring this up with you is because there's a couple of reasons. Well, we knew you through our mama and coaching Joban. We also know you. I knew you before you in terms of through your brother. It's like our family friend and your brother run the same soccer team. And
we went to watch the games.
You went to watch the game, and we didn't realize you guys were like. I know I met you, and then we didn't know you guys were brothers. And then the third way was our dad and your dad, taxi drivers, classic. But this one also came out of nowhere because you guys literally won the provincial championship. I remember the week before, and this one hit hard because you always see stories of young athletes passing away. I know there's a guy named Travis Selji. You probably know him personally. I knew Brandon know him personally. We didn't know him personally, but we've seen that story. Other athletes, whether they were pro or in the community, that passed away. And this one obviously hit hard because I actually had a relationship with him too. Obviously, your family, different story in terms of how it hit. And you guys started a foundation, and this is why I wanted to talk about this as well. Brandon Bassi Foundation. Before we promo that and everything, why start a foundation under his name? What is that foundation about? You could explain to the people watching where they could find it. I know it's a GoFundMe page, and what that foundation is about, and what you guys are trying to do with that foundation.
So the Brandon Bassi Foundation is something that we started about 2 years ago. So every year we give a scholarship to 2 students for $1,000 at North Delta Secondary School. Students write an essay, we review them, and then we decide which student deserves to get that award. The foundation, so Brandon, he always wanted to help people. He always wanted to make a change in the community. That was Brandon. If he saw something wrong, he would fix it. If he saw someone in pain, he would try to alleviate that pain, understand it, be there to support. So the foundation is basically us helping the community. So number one, we've brought in Richie Contaseri. He's a speaker. He's a professional guest speaker from the States that spoke about bullying. And what bullying does. The foundation has now also started a mentorship program where we are getting kids in grade 11 and 12 to go back to elementary schools for the grade 7ers. So that transition period from grade 7 to grade 8 and 9 is smooth. We all know from grade 7 to grade 8, it's a big step. getting a locker. Classrooms are all over the place. New teachers, older students, much older students, right? There's drinking, drugs, gangs. There's, you name it, it's all there, right? And that really shapes a person when they get older. So this foundation now is also getting mentors that help these students transition, which is very important. We have also done, done funding for kids that need money for school supplies. So in the Wally area, we've gone to schools, helped out with books and papers and whatnot, helping with school supplies or just school material that the teachers need. So this foundation is on Instagram, the Derrick Bassi Foundation. You can get my number from Amrit if need be any questions.
We'll be dropping your Instagram as well, so they could DM you.
Yeah, anytime. I'm open to any questions. It's a family thing, but it is also community thing. This is run by one of Brandon's best friend, Armand Johal and Gagan Sander. They're close with us. But it's also run by the teachers at ND. So it's a group thing, and it's going well so far. We feel happy what we're doing. We are helping bring leaders of the community to high schools. So like Jasmine Madare, like Randeep, right? Gurdeep Bisla, a cop and a wrestler. We're going to have Christine Sinclair hopefully come in soon. So we're bringing in people that can also give their story, what they've been through, to help these kids be better motivators and mentors for the youth that's coming up. Okay. Yeah. So one little story that I know, and I can tell you this, is we started this foundation from a story that was told to us by his friends and his teachers, Mr. Hundal, that a new kid that came to North Delta Secondary School and is eating by himself. And Brandon said, it's kind of odd. Never seen him, he's by himself. So Brandon went over, ate his lunch there. Little to realize that he's being bullied. Next day, and he went back to school. He wanted to take care of this by himself. Didn't tell anyone. Spoke to the bully, and he said, it's not going to happen anymore. And he drew a firm line. Right? And that boundary was set. That cannot happen on Brandon's watch. No teacher was involved. It was a youth, as Brandon, helping another youth that was at risk, educating the youth that was bullying. It was youth helping youth, and you guys are fully aware about youth helping youth.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Obviously, with there is a charity, right? It's all run by you guys, right?
Yeah.
For BC Children's Hospital. So you're fully aware about what that really means. And so that's when we said, you know what, we'll start something where we can educate our youth, help them, that's run by them, or helping our community.
Yeah. There's a GoFundMe link if people want to donate, so we'll drop that down below. I think it's done over 80K right now.
We did about 85, 90, I want to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, either way,
something like that. Yeah.
Whoever wants to donate, that link will be down below. Like you mentioned, the story of Brandon, we knew him as a person as well, and we second everything what Derrick said. Great person, gone way too soon. Before we continue, like your grandpa, any fun memory? Because I know you coached him for the last championship he won at the youth level. And any advice similar that Brandon has shared that you want to echo to the people watching?
So my memory is I would always mess with Brandon. When we were driving to Coastal, our provincial team practice, I'd say, I'm better than you. I'm 10 times better than you. And that little bond that we had, it was two brothers just competing. And I knew he knew, but we just never talked about it. I wish he knew that I wanted him 10 times better than me. Right? If he was better than me, I would be the happiest brother ever. Right? But I would just always push him. Oh, I'm better than you. Oh, I can do this. I did this. You can't do that. I can ping the ball 40 yards on a dime. You do that.
Yeah.
And we would always challenge each other.
Classic brother rivalry.
Yeah, but those challenges, those memories are so painful now, and it's so sad, right? Because you miss those things. You miss driving. I miss driving in our Honda Odyssey van from my house to Coastal, and the whole way there listening to Punjabi music, and we nice and loud, pausing it. Remember that player? This is how you're gonna defend them. Put some music back on, turn it back off. You know what, Derrick? When you go for a header, you should do this. So that brotherhood, that vibe we had, I'm not gonna get it back. We have friends, we have family, fathers and mothers, but a brother and a brother, it's a breakable bond.
Yeah,
Siblings like you two, it's a bond. It is something that is so pure. And I always said it. He's younger than me. He's born in 2000. He was my baby, and my sister says the same thing, that we lost a baby, right? A son, a brother, but a baby, a kid, right? He hasn't seen nothing. Right? When you go that young, you haven't seen nothing at all, right? So it's very tough.
Yeah. We obviously wanted to get that in there, just because we want to support that foundation as well, promote it like any way possible. And we encourage you guys to donate. And if you guys are in the Surrey, Delta, anywhere in BC, even like the lower mainland area, and you want to reach out, Derrick's Instagram along with the Brandon Bassi Foundation Instagram will be down below. If you guys want us to, his number, you guys could reach out to me or Joban on Instagram. And if you guys want to help out in the community any way possible through Brandon's name, feel free to reach out as well. Yeah, obviously a little tough transition, but I think it was a story we needed to share for sure.
Of course.
Okay, so after his passing, though, we're gonna try to go back into it. You took a little break from soccer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like completely from coaching and playing. Was it because of that as well? And was it just because, you know what, I want to take a break from soccer? Because that was, like you mentioned, you and him shared that bond, especially was soccer.
Yeah, so this is a tough topic. This is
if you want to get into it, you
there's
don't have to
things not proud about. It's very tough, and I took 3-4 months off. Slowly got back to work. I couldn't do it, and drinking, trying to suppress the pain, locking myself in the room, just crying, listening to sad songs. It was very painful. I realized it took me about a year and a half, almost 2 years, I was hurting my body. Not training, eating like shit. Any opportunity I could drink, I'd want to drink. So I couldn't play because I'm drinking half the time. It wasn't good for me. It's not the person I want to be, not the person that I am. But I realized that I never grieved. I never really grieved. And I'm happy to say this, and I'm proud to say this. I'm the first person that never believed in counselors. I went to go see a counselor, and I'm telling anyone out there that's listening and watching us that there is no harm in seeing someone else other than your family that might not, maybe your family doesn't understand. You can speak to someone out there if you need help with anything. So I realized by speaking to someone that I needed to grieve. I need to find out, because again, the grieving process is different for everyone. I didn't let my parents grieve because they're worried about me, the shit that I was doing. And so, that being said, that took me time. And that kind of put a big black cloud over myself, my family, my girlfriend at the time, and fiance. But it was just something that I didn't realize I was doing wrong. I was just trying to hide everything. But when you realize that the memories we have, the memories I personally have of Brandon, they're always going to be there to the day I pass. But now, instead of me living those memories in that moment, that memory of me being in the hospital, being the first at scene, seeing everything that I saw that I don't need to mention in this podcast, it's very, very traumatic.
Yeah, like if
right?
people do want to know what happened,
no,
you guys could Google it, but we're
and
not
so
going to go into it.
What I see and I saw, and I'm suppressing it, I now have the capability in myself by getting help. I'm viewing it from afar. I used to be stuck in that memory. I used to have the senses, the smell. I would see it. I would hear things. And I now am just viewing it. I'm viewing it like a movie. I can see what's happening. It's not bad to view it, to see that this was a tough time in my life. For everyone, our family, the community, it was very heartbreaking. But now to view it how I am, I can live with it. If I can live with it, I can live my life. I don't need to harm my life with the shit I'm putting in my body, with the booze, with partying, or not playing soccer, not staying fit, eating like trash. I don't need to do that anymore.
So,
I'm out of that phase, and I feel happy to be.
So how is now? Let's get more into positive. Well, this is still a good positive story for people that need to hear. But I mean, how has that come back now? Like you said, you're gonna come. Like obviously, I talked to you on the phone about a week ago. Saw you a couple of times here and there, but we didn't really get to chat properly until that phone call we had to come on the pod. And you mentioned to us that you're back into coaching, you're back into playing. So how has that come back now? Like, what have you learned? Obviously, you mentioned a lot you've learned now, but now the process of like the season, your guys' season starting what, in 2 weeks? So yeah, what's that journey to come back now?
I have that drive. The drive that I had lost, where I thought I lost a life, I lost everything. I was below the dirt. I just felt my life was over. I have built myself back up physically, mentally. I am committed. I am driven, motivated to be on the pitch. So my release, my therapy, for some it's nature, for some it's running. My therapy is on the soccer field that I've realized. When I see young kids playing, smiling, winning or losing, they're enjoying themselves. That gives me so much peace inside. I can't even tell you guys. Playing is so good for me. It's so beneficial for my health to keep playing. And I love playing. I'm training now and playing again and getting stuck in those tackles, winning headers. I miss that stuff. I miss it. Being that leader out of the back. I'm excited to go back. And this season, I'm looking forward to it.
All right. So, okay, now this would be a funny question. I haven't played in like 7 years. So advice for me for a comeback. Now, obviously, I didn't have to go through what you had to go through to come back. Clearly, I came back. I won a trophy somehow.
I saw that.
I did not do shit.
I saw
I'm
that.
Granted, this guy carried more, and we had other teammates that helped us win. I'm not taking credit for that. But
First of all, where's my invite to that, by the way?
Huh?
Oh no, yo,
Where was my invite?
No, listen. I at the field, I was like to Mama, and I was like to Joban. I'm like, and the other teammates, right? I was like, do I call Derrick at the spot because we needed players?
I would have been there.
No, but at the same time, I'm like, it's rec. I don't know if he wants to play, so I just left it.
I played rec. I'm not a big fan of it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I think it's shitty, but playing with the boys,
Yeah.
fuck, why
I know
not?
that.
That's why
Why
it was such
not?
a fun time. We were playing with the boys.
Yeah.
Because now we're entering in that 7v7 league.
Yeah.
Now, obviously,
And honestly, watching your mama Cam run is by far the funniest thing that I've seen. He thinks, and for everyone that's watching, he thinks he can play soccer. I beg to differ. That man can't play soccer. He's a great person, but he's not a soccer.
Yeah,
guy.
if you were there, I set him up perfectly. He missed the open net.
Open net?
Yeah.
Point proven. Point proven.
yeah, no, because he always brags like the one time. This was like what in the Punjabi Tournaments. He played with you guys for that one, and he's like, I almost scored in open A.
He made one tackle until this day.
Almost scored.
Until this day, I never had the end of it. Derrick, you remember what I did? You remember what I did? I'm like, Cam, you remember when I used to have diapers on as well? Remember recess? Like, let it go, buddy.
But yeah, advice for a comeback. Like, is it just simple? Just find the
Small
motivation,
steps.
get back into shape.
That means juggle in the backyard. Take Joban, go to Newton, right? Well, you can walk there now.
Yeah.
Always, but just pass, take some shots, right? See if you're enjoying it. You're enjoying it. Now start doing some fitness, maybe.
How rusty were you? Because like I remember I stopped playing for a year back, like U16, came back, and obviously I had to play U21, U16 Div 3 back then, and U21 Div is like Prem guys coming up. It was a massive jump. But did you feel like you lost your touch a little bit, or the muscle memory came back pretty quick?
The muscle memory came back very quick. I felt overweight. I felt heavy, right? Obviously with the booze and stuff, it wasn't helping. But I trained. I lost it very quick. Like right now, I feel I'm in great shape.
Yeah.
I look good. I feel good. I'm running every day. I enjoy that. I mean, touches on the ball by myself when I can. Team trainings. So for me, it was good. I never really lost the touch, I would say.
Yeah.
It was just more of the fitness aspect of things.
And the mindset.
But the motivation, that comes in here. Right?
Yeah.
I have ways that personally that I can find motivation myself.
Yeah.
Some people need the motivation by a teacher or a coach or whoever, by a parent. But I can build it within.
Yeah, no. For me, I just want to play for fun. Like, I was coaching this guy and watching him play because he kind of had a mini comeback. But
I did stop for a year.
he did stop for it because of COVID. That was a big
Yeah,
factor.
that was a big one. But
Yeah.
no, fitness goes like your cardio.
It goes
It
down.
goes
But
like
you're
even if you go for a
working,
week.
school.
Yeah.
You gotta have a balance,
But yeah,
right?
Right.
Find a
next
balance.
time we enter a random thing like that, we'll call you up if you want to play.
Yeah.
A rec
Down,
league.
man.
The other
I'm
guy-
down.
I didn't. Also, I was like, do I want this guy injured when it comes to that? Because like,
I'd be down.
No.
trust me, like if you were there, we definitely would have won it all. Like we won the first game 4-1. I assisted him, which I'll take credit. I was
scored.
happy about.
I scored.
After that, we had like 0-0 games because we were all.
He's gonna be like Cam.
No,
watch it
I'm
like
not.
10 years.
I'm not like
Yeah.
Hey, Joban, you remember that assist I gave you at a
Yeah.
77
Remember-
tournament?
Trust me, I need to score. Then maybe.
Remember the reason you succeeded? It was all me.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, no, it's like it was fun, like 7v7 league, and
We put
Yeah,
Derek
the-
Striker.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Derrick, we center back, just cleaning everything.
Center back.
Because our goalie, I'm not gonna say the name, but you'll know who. I'll tell you off camera who it is because you know him. He was the reason why we won because like, it's an actual goalie going back into small net, so he would just save everything. But yeah, okay, let's get into some last couple of things here. Some funny stories, topics we have. And I know you're a footy guy, so we'll talk a little footy if you want. First up, what is it like coaching Joban? And you could joke around, you could be serious, however you want to take it. What is it like coaching Joban?
I liked it because he would always be early with your dad or yourself. So it was nice because I had an assistant coach player. He would help me with the cones, the balls, and I'm like, fuck, perfect.
Yeah.
Rainy day. Joban, grab that balls bag, bring it over here, grab the pennies. And because I knew him quite well in your family, the dynamic we have with our
Yeah.
families, I trusted him to make teams. So my job got easier.
Yeah.
Having someone like him on my team, I found it a blessing in disguise. Right? He did well for me. He was very versatile. Right?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever told you. You are a very versatile player. If I put you defense, you can play defense.
Yeah.
Put you mid. Striker. Okay? So that's, for me, that's a dream player. I'll put you somewhere. Just go do that.
That's
for me.
exactly why I put you.
That's
in.
exactly what he did to
That's
me
exactly what I did.
when he started coaching.
But what was it like seeing that little skinny kid and looking at him now?
Day and night difference.
Bro, I was a
You
stick.
had no meat
Strength.
on you.
I was a stick. I was a stick.
I know you guys had Ben a little while back. Talk to him. Put some meat on. Put some muscle on.
Back then,
That's the reason.
it
That's
was.
what happened.
I took him
That's
back.
how I got it.
So yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Like I remember, like you were a twig, like a
Yeah.
little stick,
I was.
right? Like I would just touch you and you'd go flying.
Yeah.
So no, looking at you now, it's nice. It's good. It's encouraging to see.
What was the? I remember like because the first time you coached him was like a 7. It was 8v8, and I know you coached him full field. That's a whole different thing. But I remember because their team at the time wasn't the greatest. I was when you first coached them.
Yep.
And they got their first ever win, and it was like 1-0 second half. I remember this vividly. 30-minute halves. I think you guys scored in the second half or first half, whatever it was.
I think we scored first.
Was
First
this
half.
game in Langley?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Langley game.
Okay, so Langley.
I
and,
remember-
and immediate, you're like, Joban, go back to defense. This other guy, good defense. And we had the big, remember, I'm not going to say his name, but he knows who I'm talking about. The tall guy. You also know him, relative of
Yes,
us.
yes.
You three center backs,
Yes.
like pretty much.
I remember this
3-3-1,
day.
you guys-
Yeah.
And then we won 1-0, and you bring up Mr. Big for
I
everybody.
remember this
Because that was your
day.
first win as a coach against for these guys too.
Yes. Yeah, I remember Mr. Big, and I remember that. It's so funny you said that. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
We
talked about
were
it last week.
We thought we had won the World Cup.
Yeah, that first
We
one.
were all in on the field, like go.
Because like what? You guys were put into Div 1. You guys went down to Div 2. No chemistry whatsoever.
chemistry.
All bunch of
I was,
randoms.
I was a house player. That was my
Yeah.
first time like actually
all a bunch of
getting
randoms,
competition.
and that was nice, man. Those parents on the other team were like, who the fuck are these brown guys?
Yeah.
And why are they so happy?
Right?
Because
yeah.
we beat you guys.
you guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Little did they know it's our first ever win. Right?
Well, like obviously, like you were like legit my first proper training coach. Like all
Yeah.
these like half turn, shoulder check, all this
Yeah.
stuff. I got that all from you from like the beginning, basically.
What was it like coaching me for that little brief U21 period? Even though I was just there as a filler.
You were a filler. For you, it was you're good at tackling, but I just kept
I was
wondering,
just
like,
out of shape.
you're so out of shape.
That's
and
it.
you're out of shape. But again, I was just happy to have you there. You were a body for me. You were at times like a pylon for me, I think. You were at pylon, I would just say, okay, I'm going to put a penny on. Just stand there, be a defender. Just don't pick your nose while you're at it, right? And no, thing is, again, you're on time, right? You're there. You're earliest there. You go last.
From what I was told when I used to play back in Surrey United, I never, like, he played Div 1, was capable of Metro, right? I only played, like, House and Bronze. From what I was told, it was just like, dude, you're just out of shape. You have the touch. You know what to do. It's just that your fitness level's not letting you.
You
do it.
know
That's
the
all.
game.
Yeah.
Both you know the game, right? Especially yourself. You understand how the game works. But if your body's not gonna allow you to do
Yeah.
it, good luck.
Yeah. 'Cause that's what I'm saying. Like, we have the cousins that played with us. He's the opposite of me. He's in shape, but then that dude could just run around and got 2 goals out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's funny.
Are you a trash talker? And how much? And do you have any trash talking stories, as a coach and as a player, if you have any?
As a player, I remember one time one time you probably heard about was the Whitecaps.
I think.
Omar Salgado.
Oh,
Okay,
okay, yeah.
definitely.
So that's one time. I haven't said that name in a long time.
It's funny because we had his poster because he went to some Whitecaps camp and they just gave him that poster, I believe.
Bro, I didn't
Yeah,
hung
so
up you.
You did.
he was a first round pick. I'm a little skinny brown kid that just came from the academy, training with the first team, and I kept winning the ball all over him. And yeah, he wasn't liking it. He's like, "Who the fuck do you think you are?" I'm like, "Listen, I'm winning the ball fair and square, right? This is what it is. If you can't beat me, you can't beat me. You're not good enough." I kept winning the ball again and again. Won a tackle, a slide tackle. He came on top of me, and he hit me his head purposely on my nose. I turned, I hit him. He hit me. I get him on top, and I start punching him. Okay, I start punching him. Eric Hasley, Jay Demerit. Literally, I've never been manhandled like that in my life. Just from behind, grab me, lift me up. It's okay, Bassi. Bassi, stop. It's okay. So we both get sent to the changing room. At the end, they both came to me. Jay Demerit, Hasley, and his name was Tommy Sowen. He's the head coach at that time. And they said, "Listen, you guys are young. He couldn't handle it. He obviously initiated it. It's okay."
Yeah.
I was just, thank God. Because my dad
Yeah.
called me on the drive home.
Yeah.
Because he's listening to Team 1040. And I was on Team 1040. My dad,
Actually?
yes. And my dad
Oh.
said,
Okay.
"How was practice today?" "Oh, it was good, Dad."
It was-
Because I find it very hard lying to my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't bullshit him.
Yeah.
Right? He'll catch me like this. It was good. He's like, "Oh, how's Omar?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, Nate, a little bit of something happened, a little
Yeah.
fight." But it got out like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of tough.
But you're not like really a trash talker unless someone starts something.
No, I don't care. I let my performance talk.
Yeah.
I know for a fact when that ball comes, the ball's gonna be gone. The player's gonna feel the tackle, right? Similar to Cannavaro, John Terry,
Yeah.
how they
Yeah.
played. That's why I love those players. They make it felt.
Yeah.
When they tackle you.
There's
You
no
know,
nonsense, right?
you're Puyol,
Yeah.
right? The Lion. He's absolute stallion. And you're gonna get this coming your way.
Anytime a coach trash talked you or a player as a trash talk you as a coach or whatever? Or you're
A
just
player has once, and he didn't want to come off. And
so this is your own team.
this is my own team.
Yeah.
U17 is off on Brandon's team. He didn't want to come off, and we got into it. And in front of the technical director, I subbed him off. He finally came off because the teammates, like our bench player, was getting up saying, "Come off, come off." He came off. This was like the 30th minute of the first half. I didn't put him in the whole game. And at that time, you were supposed to. Each player deserves 70% of playing time if possible.
Yeah.
And I didn't play him, and we got into it, and I leaned into him, right? I made it very clear that he does not call us shots. If we lose, I will take full responsibility. Okay? Luckily, we won that game, right? But
Do you take full responsibility for the win?
the win?
Yeah.
Of course, you have to. It's all the coach, right?
Yeah, it's all the coach.
Yeah, Joe.
Shut up. Not you.
I got one story. It was Guatemala against Canada when I was 19, and we're in Mexico, and I got spat on in the face, and this wasn't even during the game. Halftime whistle blew. I'm walking off, and he turns around, and he gives one of those right in my face. I just wiped it off. I was young. I didn't know what to do. I was kind of like, do I hit him? I don't want to hit him. Don't red card. It's not my style. But that next half, I had his number. Any ball that came in the air, he felt my elbow on the back of him.
Yeah.
Right? He felt me. He heard me all game long. We won that game. And that's it. So performance always talks more
Performance,
than my mouth.
You alluded to some ref stories. So you were talking about how me and him were refing. I think that was one game I refed.
Oh.
It was like you and it was like a league game, but it was like our clubs playing at it too.
Yeah.
I had enough. I'm like, both of you guys shut up or I'm walking off the field. Any other ones or?
I remember yelling at you guys because it was so
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
It was so easy, and I don't know. Sometimes, like, if you yell at the ref, it just shows the players that you're coaching he means business. So indirectly, I'm telling my team, I'm getting passionate. I'm emotional here now. Wake the fuck up.
Yeah.
Right? Start doing something.
Yeah.
Refs, I learned when I was quite young. One of my coaches I used to have, he said to me, the ref is God. He said, ref says something, he's not going to take it back. He gives you a card, he's not going to 5 minutes later come back to you, I take that yellow card back. It's okay.
No,
Don't let it happen again.
Yeah.
You're getting a yellow no matter what.
Yeah.
You tell him to F off, you're getting a card.
Yeah.
Right? So I learned that quite young. So I've been good. And I've built a reputation with refs where they know me through playing and now coaching, where they understand my style. I'll question them time to time, but I know where the line is.
Certain refs do need it, and
Yeah.
then certain like obviously us reffing, we kind of experience what the ref goes through. So we like when I started continuing coaching his team, I understood where like, okay, I don't need to yell at the ref here, but like a certain moments I'm like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah.
what is this?
Like, sometimes it's terrible calls, right?
Yeah.
But again, it's terrible calls. You gotta keep them on their toes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Last thing you want is the ref
Dictate
thinking
the
about
game.
what he's eating for dinner tonight,
Yeah.
and not calling the calls you should be making.
I'll be honest with you, I feel like I did that. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I think I lost attention to the game.
I know you did.
Yeah.
I know. I can tell you point
Yeah.
blank, you did.
Right.
And that's why you got an earful from me.
But I'm not gonna lie. I feel like every time you yell at me, I'm just looked at you and smile because I think you were joking. the
Yeah,
whole
that,
time.
that,
Little
I
did
did
you
that
know
too.
that I had a fire in my
I
belly.
did that too. But so, what was your reaction to my dad though? At Joban's games, that you just
Oh my
he
God.
just goes into the ref and I'm have to like calm him down.
I am still scared of your dad. That man,
It's just refs. He won't yell at a player or a coach.
it's something like he has a vendetta against referees.
He still does it to this day. At times I have to like calm him down.
Like,
At our
yeah.
77 game, he was
I'm
like-
actually thinking of maybe just like sending an email to like BC Soccer. Just be aware of this guy, right? Just like, you don't have a picture on every field.
Yeah.
When you enter the field, the refs can see his face there.
Yeah.
Be aware, right? Does not like you, refs. Like, I don't know what it was, man. He's not really a big guy, right? Short and stocky guy, but he's got a voice that is scary.
It is.
Right? It's scary. When he talks, you just listen.
he got into the game himself.
Yeah.
You just listen.
It's like, ref?
Yeah.
It's like I can't yell at the players. Okay, let me yell at the
He
ref.
questions the ref, then he yells at the ref, then he questions the referee.
Like the only time I've ever told my dad to shut up, like say the word "shut up," is like when I'm coaching him and I'm in the middle of yelling. My dad's in the corner yelling. I'm like, "Dad, shut up! I'm not trying to pay no $500 fine," and that'll get him quiet because money talks. But
That's funny.
okay, so John Terry was a player. That was my question, but you kind of answered it. John Terry is the player you modeled your game after.
John Terry, Rio Ferdinand, Cannavaro, those three defenders are defenders that I enjoyed watching. They were vocal. I like being vocal in the field. They had a good life outside of football. Their aggression. They're simple defenders. There's no funny business with defenders.
Right?
Defenders don't get the ball, try to dribble between three players, right? They defend. They make sure that's a clean sheet as many times as they can.
Yeah. Especially those Italian defenders, right? Like,
Maldini.
yeah, Maldini. But like, I'm talking about like when Italy won the Euros.
Oh, Bonucci.
Like
Bonucci,
Bonucci and Chiellini, they were no
Oh.
nonsense.
They were.
They were class.
Mourinho said it.
Yeah.
Mourinho said, if I had those two defenders, I would have won this. I can win anything.
He could win. He'll win.
Anything he wants to win.
Yeah, because that's his style too.
That's his
But,
style.
yeah.
He literally said that they could be professors. In one of his funny interviews he does.
Yeah.
They could be professors about how to defend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they would put a nice lecture on for everyone that wants to learn.
Yeah.
Has there been players that you've coached, like I guess more so his age now, even my age, I guess, that you've played with, and does that make you feel old?
Currently, yeah, I'm playing with a few players I coached. They're 2004 born, 2003, 2002 borns. Well, I guess from 2000. 2000, 2004. Those
Because you did, yeah. You played with your brother.
Yeah.
But.
So I enjoy it, right? I enjoy it because you coach them, you have expectations for them now.
Yeah.
Especially if you're on the same team, you expect them to understand what you spoke about, and it's fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah, because even like I coached him all his life. Oh no, sorry, his youth, like the full field, like the 11v11 aside. That tournament was like the first time I played a competitive game together, and it was fun, right? Like I said, like me assisting him, it wasn't like, oh, I'm not gonna rub it in his face, but it's more so like that memory now, like, yo, I assisted your goal. Like that's the first ever goal connection we've had too. Yeah. So there's that. I think you're the only one I've ever coached. Right? Yeah. Oh, the other relative too, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they say, like my dad says, like there's a father and a son, right? As soon as the son's shoe becomes the same size as the father's, it's not father and son. We're best friends. We're brothers now.
Yeah.
So when I'm coaching, say, a kid for so many years, and eventually he's in the same field as me playing, we're the teammates now. We're buddies. We're best friends. So that feeling of pride and joy, it's amazing to have. It's nice.
Thoughts on the Punjabi tournaments that you played in? Do you think they were good?
That I played in or in general?
Like in general, and you played. I guess you technically played, so you had thoughts in general. Was it good for development? Because sometimes you would hear like the nonsense parents would say like "Kenchi" them, which means like slide tackle the hell out of them or whatever. You know, while you were coaching him or your men's open days. Were you a fan of them? Were you not a fan of them? Because they're not as much. They're not going on as much now.
It's not going on as much. It's a good question. It's good to get games under your belt if you can manage it.
Yeah.
Playing 4 games against 4 top teams.
In like what, 2 days?
In a span of 2 days, 4 games, right? And again, I said the same thing. Everyone still to this day speaks about Nations Cup. Having those many games on Sunday.
Yeah, like their Sunday games are brutal.
It doesn't, yeah. But again, the beer garden is bumping. Yeah. So they're making money, right? But it's good, like I said, if you can manage it, to get games under your belt if you want to play. For the kids, it's good. It's fitness. It's game fitness. For coaches, it's good because you can actually coach. You know most of the coaches. You can say, hey, tell the ref, we need to stop here for a second and explain the game scenario. Some refs don't even mind. They'll still call the halftime whistle, but get a break at 15 minutes if you want.
Yeah.
So it's very laid back. So for youth, it's good. I like it. For adults, the talent is gone.
That's like more for fun. Like,
it's for fun. There's not that much
cash prizes. Though.
There's cash prizes.
That's where it gets annoying. Even like when I'm coaching him or watching him play, the people that took it too seriously, like I know there's like a whole rule about HPL players and stuff, but like those teams that would bring in HPL players just for the sake of the tournament, whereas like you said, I viewed it, and other teams, like you view it as like a preseason for the winter season. Like that's how I want to do it. But then it gets annoying when maybe it's better for them to play against the HPL to get the practice, but they
want to win.
Yeah.
They want to win. Winning is awesome. I'll be the first guy to say winning is great. But feels amazing. Do you need to win a Punjabi tournament? Are you gonna be something all of a sudden? Are you gonna be overnight sensation?
Yeah.
I mean,
right?
Prime example, you're not. Like, we finally won one, and they gave us silver medals.
Let me guess. You have no idea what the medal is right now.
I don't know.
There you go. Like, so again, the trophies, the medals. If that's your vibe, that's your thing. Again, I'm not here to judge. Yeah. Go ahead, enjoy it. But personally, it's nice if people take it seriously. It's good if it's more organized in a sense of games, times, and
because I think with the Tigers tournament that happens, the Open Premier one, where players or they will bring out of country teams or out of country players just to win, because there is a cash prize.
Yeah, 13,000.
Yeah, which is obviously for some people it might not be a lot, but for a lot of people it is a lot.
It's a lot of money.
But two funny stories before we get into Footy Talk here quickly. I was pretty much your chauffeur half the time when it comes to taking you to games to coach, or like we were pretty much carpool buddies at this point, because I think you didn't really have the car too that often, but like it's like, yo, Amrit, we're going to Empire Field, let's go. And then like 9 a.m. I'm like, oh, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
So like we bonded over that a lot too, and we're just joking around, like you would call almost like every day back then. Obviously life happens.
Yeah.
Those are some fun memories though, for sure.
I enjoyed it, man. We got close. It was fun. Shooting the shit, driving around, grabbing Timmy's, right?
I think there's one funny story. We're gonna we never brought it up. I think it's finally the time to bring it up. It was me, you, and one other person that was helping us with the club at the time before it got shut down. It's a she, so if she ever watches it,
I think I already know. Okay.
we had to go to a soccer store. I think it was Soccer Express to pick up stuff. You were driving. You wanted to drive. It was the classic mama pickup truck too, right? The red. And all of a sudden, you guys were driving by, and this is when like Portman also had a toll on it on the bridge too. So I don't know where we were driving. I think we were driving on the way to Portola Bridge through Scott Road. A freaking alcohol shop comes off, and you two, because I don't drink, but obviously you guys didn't drink hard or anything. But it was like you guys just got like I think Smirnoffs. You're like, oh, it's hot.
I remember.
Coolers.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, Amrit, drive now.
I remember.
And come on the way back. It's like, okay, hold up, pull up into that McDonald's now, and then we had to throw this away before the evidence comes in. Yeah. And to this day, I think no one knows except
no one knows this story
until now.
Why'd you gotta tell everyone?
Well, I know now,
but I know exactly who that was, and it was hot. And I was exhausted, and I was thirsty. And so, had a couple of those drinks, and it was nice. It was a nice
This was like
drive.
almost like 7 years ago, so it was fine to take now, but it was funny. But that was like the fun.
Hey, at least I'm encouraging, don't drink and drive.
Last funny thing we want to mention, I don't know if we have to thank you or say you essentially. You introduced us to the stairs, and you know the exact stairs.
Those stairs. Bro,
me and him went like 2 weeks ago. We've been going weekly. We didn't go today.
Well, I hurt myself.
Let me know when you guys go next. I'm always there.
Yeah, like we always were thinking like, are we gonna run into this guy? Okay, so the funny story with that is I never did him. I wasn't introduced to him. You introduced to him and our other relative to prep for I think tryouts or something, and then you took your teams in the past, and that's when I first saw it. And I remember this was like 3 years ago, trying to get back into shape a little bit more. And I'm like, I worked at a home sense, and it's obviously physically tolling. So things with the office job that sucks now is like, I can't do that now, right? And coming from downtown, I don't have time to go upstairs. I remember one day, because I don't know where they were. I've tried Googling stairs Delta, and it would show me the Coquitlam Crunch half the time, right? And I don't know, randomly it finally found it. Just turned into a random way. I'm not gonna disclose exactly where it is.
It's our secret.
And then I'm like, oh, here we go. And I started doing them like 2 times a week. Obviously helped. Recently, obviously started doing it again, and that shit taxing, bro. I had puked the second time I went. I had to puke. I couldn't do it.
But how good
he did well on it. I couldn't really.
Yeah, bro. How good do you feel after?
I was done after like 3. First of all,
well, my legs were done. Like I couldn't walk for 2 days.
It's like it's good because like it's like resistance running, right? Like it's key.
When you look
while you're training,
like
right?
upwards and you're like, oh my god, it's all those stairs. So what I used to do now, well, currently I still do it. I go all the way up to the top. I come back down. Then I'll go 5 flights down, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
So I'm staying close to the ground. If need be, I need water or to lay down or whatever.
Well, because your legs are jelly. Like when are you going? I feel like I'm falling downstairs.
Yeah, like down the stairs is like, oh, I get to relax. Nope.
But that's so good for your knees.
You're scared to fall down because of the gel.
You're strengthening all the muscles around your knee. Right?
I think we didn't do it. We were gonna go swimming right after because I finally went swimming and I kind of have it still, which is kind of funny because I used to
that's good.
lifeguard and all that stuff. Dude.
Really?
Yeah.
I
completed all of it. I didn't get the job.
That's awesome.
I just didn't bother. And then I still kind of have it.
Nice.
So try to get back.
Can you swim, Joban?
I used to. Like I did my 10 levels, but like
you can't swim now.
I
went.
You
can, but it's just like.
But it's pathetic.
It's terrible. I can't float anymore.
I was surprised I was able to do it.
Yeah,
I love swimming.
Yeah, it was still chills though. Like especially how long after we went.
But yeah, like I'm like the stairs. I'm like, in a way, thank you, but screw you for introducing this.
Yeah.
Trust me, long term, you're gonna love me for it. You're gonna love me for it.
Because I'm trying to make it a weekly thing. Obviously, it's gonna be wintertime soon. So
hey, I'm all in, man. You guys go next. Give me a call. I'm in.
All right.
Well, yeah, I'll meet you there and we'll go.
Yeah, because we're like laughing. Like, what if we see Derrick right now? Because we usually.
Oh, if you see me, you will then tell me to fuck off. Like, I'll
that's why we're like, okay, we're not inviting you then. We don't need to invite you then. I'm just doing my own thing, going up and down, just try to get that cardio at least rolling. Because I could barely do 3 in the party. Yeah. Okay. Let's get into some footy talk. Last couple, I know is running for a bit, but your top 5 all time that you've seen. I'm gonna make that clear. That you've seen play, and if you currently do still watch, who's your current top 5 as well?
My top 5 teams?
No, players.
Players.
And you're in the world?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 1,
Joban.
No, well, cut that part out.
Yeah, I leave that in.
I'll go Messi. All time, Messi number 1 for me. I think he's better than the whole Ronaldo talk. Okay, so Messi. Next player, I'd say Puyol.
So it's not even Ronaldo.
Puyol,
Okay.
right? For personally, it's my personal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
it's
is
your
your
personal.
personal,
Yeah,
right?
your
I
personal.
got Messi. Next one. Old school. Oh, sorry, Zidane. Third is Zidane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it Zidane? Fourth one. Scholes.
Oh wow, not even.
Man
the other
United
guy.
legend.
Right?
Okay.
I'm not a big Ronaldo guy.
Yeah.
Okay, Scholes.
Well, you don't have to be a big
Fifth-
Ronaldo guy to know he's
Fifth-
still like one of the greatest.
He is the greatest. Yeah, I'm not. Don't get me wrong. You asked me for my five.
Yeah.
But this is your favorite five. I'm thinking, what do you think is the
fifth-
greatest five?
My favorite five.
No, this is your greatest five.
My greatest five. Yeah, okay.
Okay, it's the same thing.
That's the same thing. Right?
Another one, Ronaldinho.
Okay.
I think those players, when they played, no one got near them. At the highest level they've played, untouchable.
I can't wait to clip this and see all the Ronaldo fanboys. Because I agree, I have Messi one, but Ronaldo too. But I'm just
Yeah, but
Yeah.
don't get me, okay. What about the old school Ronaldo?
no, I know.
Where would he
I
rank?
haven't personally watched him properly. That's why I said
The old school
because-
one?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you've seen. That's why I
Yeah.
said you've seen. Like I hate debating eras because like how am I supposed to debate Bill Russell and Steph Curry?
No.
In a way, right? So that's why I usually say you've seen. Do you still watch? Do you have any current favorites or your current top five?
I watch not as much anymore. I can't with my work now. It's a bit busy than soccer. And I got married last year, so that's a bit. The weekends are a bit busy now with the wife.
Yeah.
I love it though. But currently, I like watching Man U. And I'll tell you why. They've gone through such a transition period.
I'm surprised you said that because we're Man United fans and we're
No.
pissed off at the team.
I'm not saying I like them as
No,
like.
I'm saying like you said like watching them. That's why.
I'll tell you why. Watching them, I never said like watching them on the field.
Oh.
Okay.
I never said that.
Okay.
I said I like watching them because all the coaches have gone through, all the top players, Pogba, Ibra, Ronaldo, they've gone through. So from where they were, the highest of the highs, to where they are now, I want to see what they can do to get to where they were. Can they be a contender again to win a championship? EPL, championship, Champions League, right? Can they get silverware, right? That's what I want to see. Because again, I like Erik ten Hag.
Yeah.
I think he's a good person, good coach. I like what he did to Ajax, and so that's what I just see. Guardiola, we know, right? Arsenal. I don't know. Start with Arsenal. It's-
Well, they're kind of coming back on track.
they are, but whatever happened last year is so scary to me.
because they
like-
had it in the bag and then
They had it in
Yeah.
the bag.
Yeah, that's
they should have
true.
literally just lifted the trophy up. That's all was
Yeah.
left to do, and they couldn't do that.
No, for Man United side of things, it was for me like I'm a huge fan of Ten Hag. I think he's the guy to do it, right guy to do it. Like he has that mentality of Ferguson.
Yeah.
It's just like kind of ownership in front office, bring in the right squad, and we have some pieces there, but build the rest. Well,
Have they bought out the guy from Saudi Arabia? Has he bought them out yet?
No,
Oh, the
there's been
Qatar
like
guy?
ongoing.
it's been going on for
Qatar-
almost a year. That's what's
Yeah.
pissing us
What's
off.
happening? Though? I thought it's all
Nothing.
done now.
They're saying like the Glazer family who owns it.
They own it, but I thought they want to fully sell it off, or just a portion
No,
of it.
that's where there's so many.
He wants
reports
to, like the Qatari guy
wants
wants
full
to.
control.
He wants full control, which
Yeah.
we
And
what we
Glazers-
want.
Glazers
The other
still
guys
want,
kind
yeah.
of. There's 6 Glazer family members. 2 of them that they want still control. 4 of them want out of it, and those guys are smart because it's like you said, it's England. They're gonna go nuts, and Man United at the end of the day is the biggest club in England, right? And I don't know if you have the same opinion, but I could tell by his face.
He's like-
They're big.
No. I mean, like as a brand and like as like.
Oh, yeah, it's massive.
Yeah.
Fan base
It's
wise.
globally.
I'm not saying they're the best team. I'm saying
Globally,
like,
yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So you're gonna have the whole fan base going after you. Plus, yeah, like if the Qatari guy gets it, let's see what he does. Like, Ronaldo's called him out on like like you said, they don't the funds to upgrade stuff. It's still old school.
If he
yeah.
comes, you're looking at a brand new Man
Yeah.
U team.
Yeah.
You're looking
They
at
have the right coach.
You're looking at how
Yeah.
what Man City did.
Exactly.
A guy that's
Right
gonna
now,
come
he-
in, throw his paper around, throw his weight around, and change shit around.
Just change
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Right. So that's interesting to
Newcastle might be
watch.
on that spot because they are the Saudi.
Yeah,
only.
Newcastle has
But
that too.
All right, last soccer related thing. You're gonna build your perfect soccer player, and you can use any player you want.
Yeah, older, new, whatever.
Older, new,
current.
however you want to put it, right? wanna go?
First one, we'll go body or slash height.
Body.
Slash height, like
Slash height, like just
So-
those.
you could be
he-
current or all time, doesn't matter.
So I should mention a name or should I
Name.
Yeah.
a player?
Yeah. Like
So-
you're merging all these players into one.
Yeah, like
player.
that's
So
one has to
Ronaldo's
be.
body. Ronaldo's body.
Okay, this is where Jeevan messed up too because the second one
Yeah.
is.
Don't say-
Athleticism.
Oh, you can swap it. I'll let you swap it. But yeah.
Okay. Athletic like Ronaldo,
Okay.
and then we'll go Rashford's body.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. And left foot.
Left foot?
Yeah.
Leo.
Okay, right foot.
Bex.
Beckham. Okay.
Beckham, right? Pace.
Oh.
You just pick any speed merchant.
Yeah.
Just take them.
You even take Mbappe if you want.
Who's the fastest player you've seen?
You know what? Yeah. Mbappe is
Yeah,
Okay.
Mbappe is a pace
Mbappe.
merchant.
Mbappe.
Yeah, Mbappe. Heading.
heading.
Yourself.
Vidic.
No.
Oh,
Vidic.
Vidic.
Okay.
Oh, he put heads where like people don't want to put their feet. That's the thing. Defending.
Overall, like 1v1 per
Yeah.
aerial.
Puyo.
Okay.
Puyo. Playmaking, including like set pieces, free kicks and stuff.
Playmaking.
Playmaking.
Set plays. I already said Bex.
Okay.
Playmaking. That was a tough one. Busquets.
Okay.
Busquets, yeah. Dribbling.
I think there's two answers for this. I have.
But if you want to go
Neymar.
old school, okay, yeah,
I
Neymar.
was,
That's
I
what I
was
was
gonna say
going
Ronaldinho. But
for. Finishing, shooting, finishing.
Kane.
Harry Kane.
Oh, okay, so you're a hit Kane guy.
And then
I'm not a big Harry Kane guy, but he finishes.
he does
Okay.
finish.
He finishes.
Yeah, I don't know Lewandowski. Yeah,
That's a good one.
and then last one, IQ, brain. Just
Mentality, brain,
Mentality.
IQ, all that into one.
Oh man, so many.
No
So-
repeat answers as well.
Not repeating. I'm not
Yeah,
repeating.
okay.
No. Rio Ferdinand.
Okay.
okay. Yeah, so that's your player.
That's your player. So pretty much.
That would be the best player
So
ever.
you built your. This
It
is how you built your
would- it would
player.
be.
Body of Rashford / height. Ronaldo's athleticism with Messi's left foot, Beckham's right foot, Mbappe's pace, Vidic's heading, Puyol's defending, playmaking of Busquets, Neymar's dribbling, Kane's shot with Ferdinand's brain. So that's how you.
That would be the best player ever to step foot.
I mean,
It
put
would
Messi
be,
there
yeah.
alone. It makes sense. Okay. Last thing.
It's like you give Messi with like size.
Yeah, right.
Last thing, your advice. We're gonna close it off after this. So your advice for younger athletes, younger coaches, or coaching whoever wants to get into it, what they should be doing. Like your advice to them, what they should do if they don't have the resources or whatever. Any piece of advice you learned as a kid from your mentors that you would like to share to people watching at home.
So personally, for coaches that are out there, I'd say that understand the game, have patience. You need to make sure that you're building citizens and athletes that are good humans. So teach them the things that you'd want to teach your own kids. Encourage them, make them love the sport, make them want to come back the next day to see their coach. For the players, you gotta make sure that, from what I've seen so far, is if a door closes, another one's open for you, right? There's always gonna be tomorrow, okay? For soccer, if you lose a game today, evaluate yourself, right? What we don't do this day and age is evaluate what you did. Did I do all your positives, your negatives, right? Things that your teammates were doing. So break down the game and educate yourself. Watch videos, watch games on TV. It's not just you're going to training twice a week, 3 times a week, right? Start playing on your own time. Play with your friends. Ask your parents for extra session if you can. So keep yourself involved with the game as much as you can at all times.
That's Words of Wisdom by Derrick Bassi. And last thing, just plug your Instagram or whatever you want to plug. Yeah.
Derrick.Bassi, add me on Instagram if you guys like, and please follow the Brandon Bassi Foundation. If you need my number, please reach out to Amrit. Any concerns, any questions, any coaching advice for younger players, any questions, I'm here to help. And it was honestly a fun time being here. A lot of laughs, a lot of questions that I haven't asked in a long time.
Yeah.
This is my first podcast.
Yeah.
Some questions gave me some sweaty palms.
Yeah, it was
but
great.
I enjoyed it. It was nice.
Everything will be linked down below for you guys, from the foundation, the GoFundMe page, Derrick's links and stuff. And yeah, like you said, great catching up with you.
Great, it's been a while.
Been a while
too
for
long.
sure.
Yeah.
Some memories, obviously, relive Brandon's legacy as well, poured into us. And yeah, we appreciate you coming on, man.
Awesome. It's a pleasure to be here. And I wish you guys all the best. Keep it going. This is awesome. 2 guys from the hood. Got the podcast going, man.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Just up and up from here.
Yeah. Again, appreciate you for coming on. Everybody, make sure you guys check out Derrick's links down below and the Brandon Bassi Brandon Bassi Foundation. And to everybody else watching at home or listening on audio platforms, we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.